Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto is punished by village council for bringing Sasuke back part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. Naruto's eyes slowly opened as he took in his surroundings. Stark white walls, check. Overly bright lights, check. Smell of disinfectants and sanitizers, check. Yup, he was in the one place he hated more than anything. A hospital. Slowly he worked his way to a sitting position as he rubbed his sore neck. Naruto froze when a spike of pain shot through his body, nearly causing him to double over and scream. He slowly looked down to see his chest was heavily wrapped along with his arms, legs and head. He laid back, breathing slowly in hopes that he wouldn't reopen his wound. He remembered his fight with Sasuke and very narrowly beating him. Well, that was wrong actually. He didn't beat him, they tied. Neither had enough strength to move after their fight, but if Sasuke was strong enough to walk, he would have escaped. Naruto let out a contented sigh, knowing in the end Sasuke was back in the village. That was when the door opened and a man clad in black robes stepped in. He had short black hair and red eyes. They weren't the Sharingan, so Naruto wasn't worried, but he still didn't have a clue who this man was. "Ah, so you are awake today," the man said as he approached Naruto. "Who are you and what do you want?" Naruto asked with a groan of pain. "Fuck, it hurts to talk. My name is Genri Kenryu and I'm a messenger for the Konoha Council," he said with his stern voice. "So what? Does the council want to see me about the mission?" Naruto asked as he barely managed to sit up. "Quite the opposite actually," Genri said as he took a small black scroll out of his robes. It was at that moment that the door opened once again and Tsunade entered. "What the hell are you doing here? Naruto is in no condition to see anyone." Tsunade roared in anger. "I was simply doing my job. I now take my leave," the man said as he vanished via Shunshin. "Naruto, what's that scroll?" Tsunade asked, seeing Naruto face pale, and the scroll dropped. His eyes slowly moved to the Hokage. "What did I do wrong?" Naruto asked. "What do you mean?" "You've done nothing wrong," Tsunade replied. Then why Naruto couldn't finish as his voice died. "Naruto, what was on that scroll?" Tsunade asked. Naruto sighed and rolled the scroll back up before he laid down, covering his eyes with his arm to hide the tears that were building up. Tsunade, now very worried, moved forward towards the boy she saw as a grandson. "The council," Naruto choked. "They've banished me," he finished, causing Tsunade to stop dead. "That's not possible. Banishment of a shinobi would require my signature and I would never sign something like that," Tsunade said as she took the scroll to read it. "One Naruto Uzumaki is hereby banished from Konohagaku no Sato until such a time that the entire council agrees that he may return. No less than 100% of the council's approval will be accepted. Until such a date is reached, Naruto Uzumaki is not to step foot within Konohagaku. The council has allowed him to remain within the land of fire if he wishes, but he may not remain in the village or within 50 miles of the village." Tsunade rolled up the scroll and crushed it in her hands. "Look, Naruto, I'm going to get the bottom of this. You aren't going anywhere if I have any say in it," Tsunade said. "Look at the date on it, Bachan," Naruto said. "It's dated 2 days after Hokage Jiji's death." "They passed it when we didn't have a Hokage," Naruto added. Tsunade's face paled. They had used the lack of a Hokage to pass this, and held onto it until they wanted him gone. "Naruto," Tsunade spoke weakly. "I'm sorry, I guess I can't take that hat from you," Naruto said as he weakly started to get up. "Stay, let me fight this," Tsunade said, stopping him. "Even if I can't stop your banishment, I won't let them make you leave until you are positively 100% again," Tsunade added with tears in her. Already knew there was no fighting this. "As you wish, Hokage-sama," Naruto replied, and he laid back and tried to figure out what he did wrong. A few days had passed and Tsunade had summoned the remaining member of the Konoha 12 into her office. Sasuke and Naruto were still too weak to leave the hospital, while Choji and Niji had both been released shortly before this, and were the last to arrive, being helped by their teammates. All of them were frozen when they saw how solemn Tsunade looked. And what shocked them most of all was the complete lack of sake bottles to be seen, meaning that she was sober. "I'll get right down to it. I asked you here to tell you something that will shock you all, but first I want to know something," Tsunade started. "What are your thoughts on Naruto Uzumaki?" "What do you mean by our thoughts?" Shikamaru asked. "What do you think of him? Is he good? Is he bad? Do you like him? Do you hate him?" Tsunade answered. "Naruto is strong and I would trust him with my life. I may not know him that well, but I have to say his nindo of never giving up and protect that which is precious to you is inspiring," spoke Niji, which shocked most seeing him speak first. "While I agree with Hyuga-san's statement, I must also add that his brash nature leads to trouble, but he seems to be very effective at fixing the trouble it brings," Shino said. "Naruto is one of my best friends. And he is also one of the few people who didn't make fun of my weight or my eating habits." Choji gave his piece. "The dude's a freaking genius," Kiba said, confusing most. "He was the dope in school, and yet he not only beats me, he also beats Niji and Gaara. He shows that anyone can be great if they truly put their mind to it," Kiba explained. "Yash! I consider Naruto to be one of my eternal rivals, his flames of youth never seem to dampen," Lee shouted. "I don't really have anything I could say here. I hardly know him," Tenten said. "Sadly, I agree with Tenten," Nino said. "I'm with Choji. He's one of my best friends and I would gladly throw my life down for him knowing he would do the same for me, Shikamaru said. Naruto's been my teammate for several months and I'd have to say I agree with Neji and Shino. Now while he's not one of my best friends I know he would jump on a paper bomb for me and I would do the same for him, Sakura said. Everyone's attention now turned to the last figure, one Hinata Hyuga, whom remained silent for the entire meeting thus far. I've admired Naruto for a very long time. He showed me that it's okay to fail as long as you don't let that failure stop you from getting stronger. And even when everyone thinks you're weak or useless you can prove them wrong as long as you give it your all, Hinata said with a heavy blush. I see, Tsunade said, covered her eyes for a moment, hold back tears. Then it makes this ever harder to do, Tsunade added. What's wrong, Hokage-sama? Sakura asked. The council had a vote while Naruto and Jiraiya were searching for me. The vote passed and instead of acting on it the moment Naruto returned they chose to wait until they deemed him to be his weakest, Tsunade explained. What was the vote about? Lee asked. As of yesterday, Tsunade pulled out a leaf Hittite and placed it on the desk. Naruto has been removed from active service in Konohagakure, and once he's fully healed he will be. Tsunade stopped, unable to hold back a weak sob. What did they do? Shikamaru asked with wide eyes. They'd banished him, Tsunade said as a sob broke out. She didn't care if they saw it, she couldn't hold back her tears. She loved Naruto like a son and now he was being forced out of her life. Everyone reacted differently. Sakura completely froze, she was in such a state of shock she couldn't even cry. Shikamaru clenched his fists trying to contain his hatred for the council. Choji crushed a bag of chips he was holding and stormed out of the office. Ino remained quiet, she couldn't think of what to say. Neji surprisingly clenched his fists, clearly pissed off at the moment. Lee dropped to his knees, unable to speak, his dreams of fighting Naruto were just crushed. Tenten, like Ino, simply remained quiet, trying to process that she wouldn't see the hyper kid anymore. Shino thought he showed no emotion, was just as furious as Shikamaru and Choji. Kiba was one of the few to vocalize his rage as he screamed in rage and left the room shouting something about talking to his mother. Hinata broke down and ran from the room with tears in her eyes. Naruto stood in his apartment staring at his bed. He didn't know where he would go or what he would do now. He was fully healed and had 2 days to leave the village before ANB would be forced to arrest him. Maybe I'll go to one of the other hidden villages, Naruto thought, as he packed away his last shirt and closed his bag. He picked up his Gamma wallet and moved towards his door. Stopping once more before he left, he decided to look into his apartment one last time before he opened his front door and came face to face with the pale-eyed girl. Hinata? Naruto asked. He was shocked when the girl suddenly hugged him and started crying. Naruto! Hinata cried as she clung to him. I don't want you to leave, she said over and over. Hinata, I really wish I could stay but I can't, Naruto said slowly. That was when everything made sense to him. He pulled Hinata back and looked her, locking his eyes with hers. Naruto-kun? Hinata looked at him. Hinata, do you have a crush on me? Naruto asked. Hinata blushed heavily but managed to nod and not faint. What would you do if someone had a crush on you and you didn't know it? Naruto asked. I don't know, Hinata replied. Would you give them a chance since we can't be? Naruto asked. It would depend on who it is, Hinata said, unable to believe that not only was she holding her cool and not fainting but she was also having a conversation with Naruto. Hinata, I know someone who feels the same for you as you do for me, Naruto said. Really? Hinata asked, shocked that someone could care about her that much. It's Kiba, he's head of heels for you, Hinata, Naruto said. Kiba-kun? Hinata said, even more shocked now. Yeah, why do you think he hated my guts so much? I never noticed until now, but he was trying to get your attention like you're trying to get mine, Naruto explained. Kiba-kun. Hinata blushed as she looked down and thought over Naruto's words. Hinata looked up, her eyes locking with Naruto's once more. I have to go, Hinata, I hope one day I can come back, but I'm not going to have my hopes up, Naruto said as he stepped past Hinata and was gone before another word could be said. Sasuke's eyes opened as he looked around to see he was in Konoha. Why am I here? Sasuke thought as he looked to see Kakashi standing a few feet away. You're awake, Kakashi said. What happened? Sasuke asked. What's the last thing you remember? Kakashi asked. I remember fighting Naruto. Wait, why was I fighting Naruto? Sasuke asked. So it really was the cursed seal? Kakashi thought as he rubbed his chin. What? Sasuke asked. Think hard, why did you leave the village? Why did you want to go to Orochimaru? Why did you attack Naruto? Kakashi asked. I remember having this strange thirst for power. I truly believe that if I went to Orochimaru I would be able to kill Itachi. Why did I think that? Sasuke's brain felt like it was on fire. So I was right? Another voice asked. Sasuke looked up to see Jiraiya and Tsunade standing in the doorway. Right about what? Sasuke asked. Orochimaru's curse seal eats away at the affected person's mind, slowly turning them into mindless servants to him. It washes away all your friendships, all your happy memories, all of your dreams, excluding ones of revenge or vengeance. Those turn worse, making the affected person believe that Orochimaru can give them what they want, Jiraiya explained. How can one little seal do so much? Sasuke asked. Orochimaru has poured years of work into that seal and I've put years into a counter seal. One that blocks the seal from eating away at your mind. It's all we can do until I can learn how to rip it off you, Jiraiya explained. Now Sasuke, what can you tell me about your fight with Naruto? Tsunade said, finally taking center stage. We fought at the Valley of the End. He drew on this red chakra and Kami, he's not dead, is he? Sasuke asked. No, Naruto's alive, Tsunade replied. Thank Kami, he's just about the only friend I have in this village, Sasuke said. Had, Jiraiya corrected. What? Sasuke asked. The council banished Naruto, Tsunade said. What? Why? Sasuke screamed. I wish I knew, but they did it while I was searching for Tsunade and decided to hold onto it until they wanted him gone. I guess nearly getting himself, you, Choji, Kiba, Lee, Shikamaru and Neji killed was good enough reason to enact it, Jiraiya said. So Naruto is gone? Sasuke asked. Not yet, but soon, Tsunade replied. I've got to see him, I need to apologize to him for going crazy, that wasn't me, Sasuke said. Mama, Sasuke, calm down, Kakashi said, placing a hand on his shoulder. Do you think Naruto would really be able to handle you groveling to him right now? He asked. I guess not, can I at least say goodbye? Sasuke asked. Sure you can, Tsunade said with a soft smile, hoping this wasn't so ploy. Naruto stood just outside of the gates of Konoha, his vision on the horizon. Time to find a new home, I guess, Naruto said as he took his first step. He had gone by and said goodbye to every worth saying goodbye to. The entire Konoha 11, since he wasn't a member anymore, the Ichirakus, Tsunade, Shizen, Kakashi, Konohamaru and his gang. The only person he couldn't find was Jiraiya. Stupid Ero-sensei, I can't find him when I need him, Naruto thought as he walked through the forest trying to think of where he would go. Naruto, a voice stopped the boy dead. He turned to see a very serious Jiraiya standing by a tree. Ero-sensei, Naruto said, seeing his Chunin exam sensei. This is going to be a lot of information at once, but I'm going to tell you something that will shock you, Jiraiya said as he moved towards Naruto. What could possibly shock me more than, hey, thanks for saving Sasuke, now screw you and get out of our village, Naruto said. Try your lineage, Jiraiya said, causing Naruto to go silent. My parents? Naruto asked. Yes, now let's talk, Jiraiya said as he sat down leaning against the tree. Naruto quickly sat down near Jiraiya. First off, your mother. Her name was Kushina Uzumaki. She was nicknamed the Red Hot Habanero. She had fiery red hair and stunning violet eyes. She was a Jonin of the Leaf and the pervious Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tailed Fox, Jiraiya explained. Kushina, such pretty name, Naruto said with a happy smile. Now your father, Jiraiya said, gaining Naruto's attention. Was Minato Namikaze the fourth Hokage? What? Naruto screamed, unable to believe him. Settle down and I'll explain, Jiraiya said, getting Naruto to sit down. Why else do you think you're the Jinchuriki? He would have used some else's child when he had one of his own. Now then, Jiraiya pulled out a few scrolls. The red scroll is from your mother. It has a letter from her, her sword, her life savings, her favorite jutsus, and a few other things. The yellow scroll is your father's. Like Kushina's, it has his life savings, favorite jutsus, and his tri-pronged kunai. Jiraiya handed Naruto the two scrolls. Why are you giving me these? Naruto asked. Well, you were supposed to get these once you turned 16, but since you were banished I decided that you deserve these now, Jiraiya replied. Thank you, Jiraiya, Naruto said as he put the scrolls into his bag. One more thing, this is a little gift from me, Jiraiya said, handing Naruto a green scroll. What is it? Naruto asked. Well, you see, your parents' life-saving weren't very much since they had just bought a house and full furnished it just before their deaths. They maybe had 3,000 between them, Jiraiya explained. You're losing me here, Naruto said. That is just over 500,000 Ryo, Jiraiya said. Naruto said nothing and simply let his mouth go slack as he heard how much it was. WWHY? Naruto asked. Call it 14 years of payback for lack of presents, and what not. After all, I was supposed to be your godfather, Jiraiya replied. I can't, that's just way too much, Naruto said. Nonsense, use it to build a life wherever you want, Jiraiya said as he stood and cracked his back. Oh, and two little gifts. One, the toads are still with you and they are royally pissed off with Konoha for this, by the way. The other thing is your shadow clones, Jiraiya started. Wait, why are the toads mad? Naruto asked. They don't like that you got banished for no good reason and have decided that they are no longer affiliated with Konoha. Other than me, no Konoha shinobi will ever be allowed to summon toads again, excluding someone that is naturally affiliated with them, Jiraiya explained. They did that for me? Naruto asked. Naruto Gamabunta may be grumpy, but he doesn't help someone unless he holds them in the highest respects. The fact that you had Gamakichi backing you had nothing to do with it. He would have fought with you against Gaara either way. He's just lazy, Jiraiya said. And what about my shadow clones now? Naruto asked. Yes, as I was saying. Everything a shadow clone learns you will remember. An example is if you used shadow clones to help you learn the Rasengan. Every attempt they would have made you would have remembered and would have been able to add to your learning curve, Jiraiya explained. Why didn't you tell me that when I was trying to learn the Rasengan? Naruto asked. I wanted you to learn it the hard way. That way you'd have proper respect for an A-ranked ninjutsu, Jiraiya replied, getting Naruto to nod. Okay, I understand, Naruto gave a sigh. Is there anything else? I really should be heading out, Naruto added. Nothing other than try to stay away from IWA. I'm not sure if they would kill you or not. They might hate you just because of who your father is, Jiraiya said. I understand, maybe I'll see you around, Jiraiya, Naruto said as the two shook hands and parted ways. Jiraiya started back towards the village while Naruto started his aimless wandering. Tsunade sat behind her desk ignoring her paperwork as she started an untouched bottle of sake. She hadn't had a drop since she read Naruto's banishment scroll. She grabbed the bottle then threw it with all her might at the wall, shattering it. I swear, Naruto, I will find a way to bring you home, Tsunade said as she clenched her fists so tightly that her hands started to bleed. Naruto stood in a small shop looking over a new set of clothes. He was seriously considering tossing out his old orange jumpsuit. Sure, he loved the color, but now it didn't seem like it fit him anymore. He needed a new look for his new life. Find anything you like? The shopkeeper asked. I was kind of looking at this hakama, but that seems a little dumb since I'm heading pretty far north, Naruto said. Nonsense, it may not seem it at first glance, but a hakama is made thicker than normal cloth so it can take harsher climates, the shopkeeper replied. How much for it? Naruto asked, expecting a large number. I could do 150 ryos since it doesn't seem to sell well, the shopkeeper said. I'll take it. Naruto shouted he'd never heard of such a cheap set of clothes before. Now clad in a midnight black hakama, shin-high combat boots, a bright orange sash, a dark crimson kosode with hood and a mask attached, and a pair of heavy gloves, Naruto was ready to go to Kumogakure. He wasn't sure what it was, but he felt like something was pulling him there. He left the small village following his gut feeling rather than a compass. As he started to venture further north, he was forced to pull the hood and mask up to save him from the cold winds. God, how long does it take to get to Kumogakure? I've been walking for over a week and a half, Naruto complained out loud as he walked. Sighing heavily, he just continued to walk following his gut feeling. Back in Konohagakure, Sasuke stood in front of the rest of the Konoha 11 as he took a slow breath. Okay, I'm not going to stand here and ask you to forgive me. I don't deserve your forgiveness, not yet. I still need to earn that. All I am going to ask is that you give me that chance. To prove that I am worth forgiving, that you can put your trust in me. I know none of you like me because of what I did, but all I'm asking for is the chance to show that that wasn't me, Sasuke said as he looked at the group. I will give you a chance solely because that's what Naruto would have done, Lee said. Lee is right, it is what Naruto would do, and in his memory I will do the same, Shikamaru added, getting most of the others to nod in agreement. You'd better show your worth at Sasuke, Kiba said with a sneer. I've been given access to my clan's training grounds once more, and I would like to open them to your use as well. No matter the time or day, you are all welcome in the Uchiha compound, Sasuke said, giving a light bow. Most of the group was surprised by this news. Sasuke. He seemed to have adopted Naruto's view and was doing everything he could to show he was loyal to the Hidden Leaf. In the 2 weeks Naruto had been gone, most of the civilians were partying in praise that the demon boy was gone, while the shinobi felt a void having lost one of the most promising shinobi. Tsunade fought against the council every day trying to get him back. While a small portion of the shinobi council would vote with her, the entire civilian council always voted no. This is getting redundant, Lady Hokage, Danzo said before he took a breath. I would like to set forth a vote, he added. What vote? Tsunade asked with a growl. Simply to limit how many times you can make us vote on the same subject. Such as the Uzumaki's banishment to once a year, Danzo said. I second that, Hamaru said quickly. Third, Koharu added. Before Tsunade could squash the vote, the entire civilian council voted in Danzo's favor along with roughly half of the shinobi council. Very well, it is passed, Tsunade said with venom. Now then, is there anything else to cover, or is this meeting adjourned? Tsunade asked. I would like to bring up the suggestion of Uchiha Sasuke becoming a chunin, a civilian councilman spoke up. Very well, Nico, bring Uchiha Sasuke here, Tsunade said. Naruto stood in a small village, his face stuck against a window as he looked inside, nearly drooling as he looked at a set of armor. Whoa, that looks so badass, Naruto said as he eyed up the armor once more before entering. Anyone here? Naruto asked as he stepped inside. Yes, my boy, what can I do for you? A rather scarily buff man asked. I was wondering what you have for shinobi armor. Naruto asked. That's all I sell. I specialize in assault armor like the set in the window, the man said as he cracked his neck once while he eyed up Naruto. I saw that it looked badass, Naruto replied. Always nice to see someone take appreciation in my work, the man said. Now what can I do for you? He asked. I was kinda thinking about getting an armor set, Naruto said while he scratched the back of his head. I think I have just the thing for you, the man said as he disappeared into the back of his shop. After several minutes the man reappeared with a mannequin and a set of armor. 1. This is my masterpiece. The armor is damn near indestructible, is coated with seals on the side that makes it fit its wearer, completely chakra adaptive, and can be sealed by the wearer so it can't be removed. He explained the armor as Naruto looked at it like it was a gift from Kami himself. Can I try it on? Naruto asked. Sure, have at it, the man said. Naruto nodded, then moved to the mannequin. He took his time removing the armor from the mannequin so he could see how it went on. There's a lot to it, Naruto said as he pulled off the chest piece. Yeah, but it'll be worth it, the man said. Naruto finished stripping the armor and put on the black bodysuit that was to be worn under it. This is kind of heavy, Naruto said as the suit shrunk to fit him. Yeah, it's iron weave. The stuff is strong enough to stop a kunai, he said as Naruto put on the dark gray plated greaves on the shin guards with 3 curved spikes. Naruto watched as they shrunk to size just as the suit had. Then came what Naruto would have called an armored kilt, followed by the chest armor and shoulder guards. The shoulder guards, like the greaves, had 3 curved spikes on them as well. He then moved to the spiked wrist guards and chain mail gloves. He took a moment to see the gloves had 2 long claws that extended a good 6 inches. Naruto couldn't help but smile as he took a once-over of himself to see how good he looked in the armor. The helm reminded him of the Sandame's battle helm that he had seen only once before. But this had what appeared to be a 3-pronged claw on the forehead that bed over the helm along with a mouth cover. Now this helm here is special. One put on it will darken the inside of the helm, hiding your eyes and face away so nobody could tell what you look like. On top of that there is a seal over the mouth cover that distorts your voice, and finally once it darkens so your face is hidden it will make your eyes glow red just to give it an evil vibe, the man explained. That is so bad ass. Naruto shouted as he took the helm and put it on. Damn kid, I think this armor set was made for you, the man said as he looked Naruto over. Yeah, now the big question. Naruto looked to the man, the red eyes locked on him. 500,000, the man said. Holy mother. I can't afford that, Naruto said. Well, that was a lie, he could, but he wanted to save that money. I just fucking with you, kid. It's only 50,000, it's awesome armor, but nobody seems to want it, and for the life of me I can't make a second set without getting that one dude back to help me with the seals again. But I'm rambling, you want the armor or not? The man asked. Hell yeah, I want it, Naruto said as he grabbed his bag and pulled out his Gamma wallet that looked like it was about to burst. Dude, you are freaking loaded, the man said as Naruto counted out the amount. It was a gift from my godfather, Naruto said as he handed over the stack of real. 2. Enjoy the armor and tell people you got it here, the man said as Naruto pulled off the helm, gloves and shoulders. Thanks, I gotta study up on some sealing so I can put these into the armor for storage, Naruto said as he looked at the armor. That's what this is for, the man said as he poked a seal that sat on his right side just above the armored kilt. You seriously thought of everything, Naruto said as he pulsed a little churka and sealed away the helm, gloves and shoulder guards. Once those were sealed away, the put his black hakama and crimson ko sewed back on, effectively hiding away his armor. I have my moments, the man said. Naruto gave a nod and left, focused more on trying out his new armor. He was just about to leave when a weapon caught his eyes. It was a naginata. How the blade shined is what really caught his eye. It seemed different from the other weapons. What's up with this naginata? Naruto asked. Oh, that was my father's last weapon. The metal is something strange. It's harder than steel but lighter at the same time. I made a promise to my old man that I would only give it to someone that I truly believe deserves it. I'm not allowed to sell it. And he told me I'd know who deserved it when they touched it, the man explained. What did he mean by that? Naruto asked. He said it would react to a certain man's chakra, but he died years ago so it was never picked up. So Dad said one day someone would be able to awaken the metal, he explained. Awaken? Naruto asked. Yeah, right now that blade is weaker than tin, but once someone with the Uzumaki blood in them touches it, that's when it will take on the stronger than steel property, the man said. Uzumaki, Naruto said as he grabbed the staff, and instantly the blade shined crimson then returned to its basic steel color. You're an Uzumaki, the man shouted. Half on my mom's side, Naruto replied. Leave Shinobi, Uzumaki or Kushina's boy, the man shouted. Should I be worried that you know that? Naruto asked. I'm Jaken Yuzushin, I'm from one of the other clans that made up Yuzu no Kuni. There was more than one clan from there, Naruto asked. Uzumaki, Ushin, Kajioni, Takioni, Rarana, Kamigate, and Yuzuki were the clans made up Yuzushigakure, Jaken explained. Whoa, there was a lot of us, Naruto said. Yuzushin and Uzumaki are basically gone. Most of the other clans went far to the west, completely out of the elemental nations, Jaken explained. Wow, Naruto said. Come here, kid, Jaken said, getting Naruto to walk towards him. Naruto was confused when Jaken gave him back his money. I'm not charging the closet thing, I have to kin, Jaken said. I don't know what to say, Naruto replied. Just say you got your badass gear here, Jaken laughed. By the way, take the Naginata. Her name is Shinikaba or Death's Fang. I promise I will wear this armor and use this weapon with the utmost pride, my brother, Naruto said with a bow. I have a feeling you will, Jaken smiled. It had been just shy of a week since Naruto had bought his armor and returned to his travels. He was deep within the land of lightning but had yet to find the hidden cloud village. Naruto stopped, seeing nothing before him but water and massive rocks. He glanced around, seeing a small hut with a sign on it. Unreikyo, that's not Kumogakure, Naruto shouted angrily, and he stopped his feet a few times. And just who are you? A feminine voice asked, causing Naruto to spin around. Who's there? Naruto asked, seeing a blonde-haired woman sitting on top of the hut. We are Kumo Shinobi, Yujito and B, a large man said as he exited the hut. Naruto simply stared at the two. The woman was stunningly beautiful with long blonde hair and just as stunning dark eyes. She was slightly pale and wore a black and purple short-sleeved blouse with black pants. The man honestly scared him a little. He wore a pair of dark pants and a standard Kumogakure Jonin vest with one shoulder strap and a white Hittite. He also had 7 swords adorning his back and the kanji for iron on his shoulder in blue. I'm Naruto, Naruto said, offering his hand to the two. While B returned his handshake, the woman just stared at him, expecting something more. So why are you looking for our home? Yujito asked. I used to be a Konoha shinobi, but I got banished, so I was looking for a new home. Kiri is in the middle of a civil war. I don't like the idea of IWA for some reason, and Suna just seemed to dry for my tastes, Naruto explained. So you thought you'd just come and make Kumo your home? Yujito asked. No, I know I'll have to earn my keep and I'm more than willing to do so, Naruto said. What skills you got? Gotta know if it's worth giving you a shot, B said, starting his rapping. I have shadow clones and the Rasengan, that's about it, Naruto said, ashamed of himself. What rank were you? Yujito asked. Genin, Naruto replied, again ashamed. You were a Genin with the Rasengan? B asked, slightly shocked. Yeah, I'm a special circumstance, so I'd probably never become anything more than a Genin, Naruto said. What circumstance? Yujito asked. I'd rather not say, Naruto said quickly. No way for show? B suddenly said. What? Both Naruto and Yujito asked. Ain't nothing to fear, you've got the 2 and 8 here, B said, pointing to himself and Yujito, confusing Naruto heavily. 2 and 8? What does that mean they're like me? Naruto's mind screamed. You guys have Bija sealed in you? Naruto asked. Yes, I have the Nibi Matatabi, Yujito said, and I'm rock a killer melody has the 8th Jinchuriki, B rapped. I have the Kyubi, Naruto said. No foolin'? B said. We should take him to the Raikage, Yujito said. Fo show bro'll know what to do, yeah. B laughed. That didn't even rhyme, Naruto said. Just gotta give it time, B replied. I'll kill you, Yujito growled. Then I'd be blue, B replied. Oh, go eat an orange, Naruto shouted. I'll slap you with a door hinge, B laughed. Let's just go, Yujito said. With the flow, B said as he started to walk, leading them to the hidden cloud. Once they reached the hidden cloud, Naruto instantly noticed that nobody was looking at Yujito or B with spite or hate. Instead, they looked to them with respect and love. Yujito had just about all of the men's eyes while B had the women's. Naruto looked around, seeing a few people waving to him, while others looked at him cautiously. I guess you aren't used to this? Yujito asked. No, in Konoha I was quite literally spit on, Naruto replied. That's not cool, yo. You should have come here sooner, bro, B said as the three started to ascend a long staircase. So should I be worried about meeting the Raikage? Naruto asked. Nah, he's a big softy, Yujito replied. To you, B replied as they reached the door. Yo! Bro! B's here, B said as he kicked in the door. You're paying to fix that door, the massive figure that what the Raikage replied. Naruto froze, instantly seeing the large man in white and yellow Kage robes. We have someone who would like to meet you, Yujito said. Eh? Why is it you brought a little boy here? The Raikage asked. Yo, his name is Naruto, and he's out little bro, B replied. With a raised eyebrow, the Raikage took a moment to look over Naruto. Boy, step forward, the Raikage commanded. Naruto obeyed and gave a light bow. He seems a little scrawny and short, he said. I didn't have the best life in Konoha, Raikage-sama, Naruto said. Yeah, don't do that, replied quickly. You've lost me, Naruto said. I hate that sama crap. Just call me Raikage or A-san, said. Raikage it is, Naruto said. Now I would assume you have a Bija since Yujito and B are both claiming you as a brother. Yes, I housed the nine-tailed fox, Naruto said. That would make you Uzumaki that was banished from Konoha a short while back, A said. Yes, Raikage-san, Naruto said. Well then what makes you think you can make a home in Kumo? A asked. I don't know, I just felt something pulling me here, Naruto replied. Interesting, explain this pull, A said. Well, when I left Konoha I felt this pull in my gut pointing me towards Kumo. So I followed it, and it ended up leading me to B-san and Yujito-san here. So all I can assume is the pull was something to do with being a Jinchuriki, Naruto explained. Well, you'll need to be training and controlling that fox before we do anything, A said. Leave his training to me and Yugi, B said. I told you to never call me Yugi, Yujito growled. Ah, but it rhymes so good, B replied. B stop, how long do you need? A asked. I say a 1 or 2 or 3 years to leave him with no peers, B rapped. Before you do that, A stood and walked around his desk to tower over the young Uzumaki. Uzumaki Naruto. Do you swear undying loyalty and fealty to Kumogakure? To always place the village's needs before your own? I can't swear something like that, Naruto said. My friends, no matter the nation, come first, as would any family I might have one day, Naruto added. To Naruto's surprise, A burst out into laughter, as did Yujito and B. Oh my boy, that was the perfect answer. I hate having blindly faithful shinobi, A still laughed. Welcome to Kumogakure, kid, A added before he handed Naruto a Kumo headband with a white cloth. I swear I will do everything I can to prove you are not making a mistake, Naruto said. I have no doubt, A replied. For 3 years he worked himself to the bone. Every day he would train both mind and body. Whether it was speed training with Yujito, strength training with Killer B, academic studies with Samui, or kenjutsu with Karui and Omo. He didn't really train with a sword since his weapon of choice was now Death's Fang, the naginata he was given by Jaken. His training only stopped for a short time when Jiraiya visited and gave him the key to his seal, only after they had one hell of a sparring match. After he gained that it was thanks to the combined help of Yujito, Killer B and the surprise appearance of his mother that he defeated the nine-tailed fox and took the great fox's chakra for his own. Now he stood before the Raikage ready to accept his next mission. The years had been kind to Naruto. He now stood at 6'1", making him only slightly shorter than B. His blonde hair now rested on his shoulders or tied into a short ponytail. His clothing hadn't changed in the years. When outside of a mission, he chose to keep his deep crimson kosode and black hakama. He had taken the time to adorn the Uzumaki crest on the back of the kosode. When he was sent on a mission, he would gear up in his battle armor. Just as Jaken had said, the armor grew with him. The only change that happened to the armor was he had engraved the hidden cloud emblem onto the helm. Naruto's head turned to see several people walking in. The first was Yujito, and both of them full geared and ready to go. B was wearing his usual attire in a white single-shoulder strap flak jacket, a dark gray pair of pants, and his white scarf. Yujito, like B, was in her usual attire of black pants, and her black and purple blouse. The next was a younger man with blonde hair and overlong shirt with a hood, dark pants. His hands were wrapped in red bandages and he had black shin guards. He was one of few Kyumo shinobi that wore black hitite. Like most Kyumo shinobi, he had a long sword on his back with a white sheath and handle. He had become one of Naruto's closet friends. He was Omoi. Then there was a younger red-headed woman with amber eyes and milk chocolate skin. She was dressed in a short-sleeved dress with frilly edge adorned with a flak jacket. Thought it couldn't be seen, she had a pair of fishnet stockings under her dress. And her hair was kept back by her bandana-style hitite. She too had a long sword sitting on her back. She reminded Naruto heavily of Sakura, except she was infinitely more terrifying. She went by the name of Karui. The next was Samui, and she was dressed in her basic attire. Clad in a dark gray tunic with a white corset that helped show off her ample cleavage. A short skirt stopped just before her mid-thigh. Her wrists were wrapped in red, and unlike other Kyumo shinobi, she had a tanto sitting over her back. Good, you all made it, A spoke. This better not be a waste of time, Yujito said. Yeah, I need to on my rhymes, B said. Stop that, A said quickly, stopping B before he could get his rapping started. So what's this mission, Reikage-sama? Oma asked. I'm sending you to Kirigakure. Their Mizukage needs to be brought down, A explained. He's a Jinchuriki, Naruto said, getting a nod from A. Of the three-tailed turtle, A replied. He saw Naruto, Yujito and B all tense up slightly. He knew that none of them really wanted to kill a fellow Jinchuriki. I have a request, Reikage-san, Naruto said with a bow. No, A replied quickly. You didn't even hear my request, Naruto said with a slight grin. You want me to let you follow that gut feeling you have, A said with a blank look. Maybe a little, Naruto replied with a foxy grin. Yo bro, let him go, B said. I'll think about it after the mission, A said. As you say, Naruto said, looking to the others in the room. He figured either B or Yujito would be in charge since they were Jonin and Jinchurikis. Now then, Naruto, you're in charge, A said. In charge of what? Naruto asked. The mission, A replied. Which mission? Naruto asked. His mind was simply not connecting the dots. This mission, A shouted before he took a long breath. Naruto, I'm putting in charge of this mission to see if you are ready to become a Jonin. The rest of the group will follow your orders and report back to B on your leadership, A explained. Oh badass, Naruto said. Now take the reins and command your team, A said. With a nod, Naruto turned to face the other 5 shinobi in the room. Right. You guys have a half hour to get your supplies together and meet me at the south gate. I want to be in the land of water by tonight, Naruto said. Yes sir, Karui grumbled. She didn't like that he was getting a chance to be a Jonin before her. This could be bad. If we rush ourselves, we'll get there and be tired, then we won't fight good enough and we'll die, Omoi said. Omoi, shut up, Naruto said, shaking his head. Half hour go, Naruto said as he made the ram's seal and vanished in a swirl of what seemed to be a red mist. B, Yujito, stay for a moment, A said. Yo, what you need, bro? B asked. How'd his training go? A asked. He hasn't mastered it, but we've gotten it down, Yujito answered. I guess that will do. Make sure he doesn't fuck this up too much, A said. With a nod from both of them, the two were gone. It had been 3 years and he was the last one to become a Chunin. Some said he did it to spite the council. Others said it was to prove that he wasn't power hungry. But if someone asked him, he would tell them he simply didn't pass the tests. Hey Sasuke, you ready to go? Said raven-haired shinobi, turned to see Sakura and Kakashi walking up. Yes I am, but why are we stepping out of the way to help Kiri? Sasuke asked as he hoisted his pack over his shoulder. They've asked for help, would you see them die? Kakashi counter-asked. Even when they argued, his nose never came out of that damned book. Ugh no, Sasuke said slowly. Good, everyone's waiting, Sakura said with a grin. Let's just go, Sasuke said. Team 7 reached Eastern Gates to see the rest of the Konoha 11, their old Jonin senseis, and many more shinobi. He could see Shino trying to ignore Hinata and Kiba. They were at each other's throats again, which surprised quite a few with how passive Hinata had once been. Whatever happened between her and Kiba had really opened her up. Ino, Shikamaru and Choji were all simply waiting. Another surprise, Ino wasn't talking everyone's ear off about some useless subject. Then there is Team Guy. Niji, ever the stoic shinobi, Lee and Guy both shouted about the flames of youth. Sasuke had to admit he felt bad for Tenten. Not a bad force, Sasuke said as the group ready to move. Alright Konoha, we move to free Kiri from the clutches of their tyrannical Mizukage. We will be meeting up with forces from Suna along the way. From there we will meet up with the rebel leader Meitorumi, Kakashi stated, getting the forces to move out. It took a week for all of the forces to settle in at the main base for the Kirigakure rebel forces. Suna had sent 20 shinobi along with the Sand siblings. Most of the rebel forces were in shock that the Kazekage himself would come to aid them. IWA sent no troops, claiming they were too far away. Konoha sent 50 troops, including the Konoha 11, their former Jonin sensei, and key shinobi like Enko, Ginma, the original Inoshikacho trio, and Shizen, to head up the Minin. Finally, Kumos sent only 6 shinobi, but they claimed they were far more than necessary. To their knowledge, it was their 2 Jinchuriki, Killer Bee and Yujito ni, Killer Bee's team in Kari, Omoi, and Samui, and finally their newest shinobi, the man clad in armor that never showed his face. But he had earned the title the Crimson Shinobi after he single-handedly slaughtered a group of 15, Chunin level, Nukenin. Currently Kakashi, leader of Konoha's forces, the Kazekage Gaara, Mei Terumi, the woman that the rebel forces wanted to make the next Mizukage, and the aforementioned Kumo shinobi stood at a table with their most trusted advisors. In Kakashi's case, it had many more than the others. With him was their Konoha 11, Kurinai, Guy, and Asuma. Gaara only had his siblings with him, Kankuro to his left, and Temari to his right. Kankuro had a crow draped over his shoulder, ready and waiting for the untrusting Kumo shinobi to make a move. Temari was just at ready, her hand never left her hip, giving her ample opportunity to grab her fan. This, of course, was pointless. Gaara was still the Jinchuriki of the Shikaku and easily one of the strongest people in the tent. Then, of course, there were all 6 of the Kumo shinobi, led by the bloody nightmare that was the hidden guise of Naruto. Through his helm he looked to each of the Konoha and Suna forces, remembering them, and seeing how they looked now, his eyes found his former flame first. Sakura had grown her hair back out. While not as long as it once was, it now sat on her shoulder, kept out of her eyes by her Hittite. She wore a red shirt with black shorts and a pink apron. To him she had hardly changed, but he could tell she was immensely different from how she used to be. Now she was a force to be reckoned with, and he could tell with how she carried herself. His eyes next found his other ex-teammate. Sasuke stood stoically clad in black pants, a gray shirt, and black sandals. His hair was also longer, and had lost some of its duck-like appearance. What annoyed him the most was that his eyes were locked on him. He obviously didn't trust the Kumo shinobi. Naruto's red-eye move to the next person was the woman that had confessed a desire to be with him the day he left. Her eyes were on the map rather than the other shinobi. Hinata now wore a pair of blue pants and an open purple and blue hoodie. Her chest caught Naruto's eyes. It was only covered by a black shirt. So that's my plan, Mei said. Shit, I was not paying attention, Naruto thought as he looked to the field. I wouldn't suggest putting 2 Jinchuriki together, Gaara spoke. I would be better to focus 1 per gate, he added. Naruto turned and looked at Samui, then nodded to the table. Samui nodded back and took a step forward. I have a plan if you wouldn't mind hearing it, Samui said. By all means, Mei said. See, the northern gate has the most land behind it. So I think it would be best to send Suna in that way. Gaara can use in Bija State and not have to worry about any massive pools of water. While the western gate is actually a dock, so Bija State would be best since it's part octopus, he can swim very quick. Then eastern gate has the biggest opening before it, that would mean the fastest shinobi need to go this way. So Yujito State would be perfect, Samui explained. And what of the southern gate? Sasuke asked. That's what he's for. Samui pointed to the ironclad Naruto. With a slight nod, Naruto acknowledged her plan. What forces will go with him? Gaara asked. Well, we'll keep Suna with you, the rebels with B, and Konoha with Yujito. So myself, Karui, and Omoi will join him at the south gate, Samui replied. Is everyone okay with this plan? Mei asked, liking her plan more. There were no objections, so Mei gave a nod and dismissed everyone so they could get ready. What's up with that guy? Kiba asked, looking to the armor-clad Kumo Nin. What are you talking about? Shikamaru asked. He's nothing like the others, he hasn't said a word since they arrived, Kiba said. And this is a problem? Ino asked. It's just weird, usually people say 1 or 2 words, Kiba said. Maybe he's a mute, you're reading too much into it, Hinata said, deciding to prove Kiba wrong. She moved towards the Crimson Shinobi. His red eyes instantly locked onto her when she moved towards him. Hyuga, I'm honored. His voice was far deeper than Hinata was expecting. Hello, my name is Hinata. Hinata smiled. A pleasure, the armored shinobi replied. So do you keep your name hidden for a reason? Hinata asked. I only tell those I trust, Naruto replied. He wanted to tell her who he was, but it was too soon. That being said, I don't think your boy toy over there likes you talking to me. Naruto's red eyes moved to the fuming Kiba. He wishes. We tried that and he screwed it up, Hinata replied. But in the end it was for the better. I used to be really shy, the pale-eyed heiress added. Good to know I like this outgoing girl. Naruto grinned from behind his helm. Hands to yourself, big boy, Hinata smiled. Everybody get ready to move out. A voice echoed out. Until the next time, my dear, the armored Naruto said before he vanished in a swirl of red water to gather with his party. The attack started. The shinobi of the hidden mist were in panic as they saw 3 massive creatures moving towards their city. From the north they could see a large force of shinobi moving alongside what appeared a raccoon made of sand. To their west 8 massive tentacles burst from the water and crushed part of the docks. The civilians ran screaming about the kraken. Shinobi trembled, unable to believe that they were under such an attack. The eastern gate wasn't any better. They were in complete panic seeing a giant blue cat made of blue flames charging at them. With the other two gate, the civilians screamed and ran for their lives, praying the south gate was safe. Civilians! A thunderous voice echoed from the southern gate. You may leave though the southern gate. Shinobi, lay down your arms and you will be spared, the voice echoed out over the entire village. To no surprise, many of the shinobi chose to fight. The northern gate. Sand ran over the walls as shinobi poured into the gate. Temari, Kankuro and Gaara stood atop the massive sand construct. Temari's fan wiped around, sending sharpened waves of wind at the opposing shinobi. Kankuro's fingers danced around as he controlled his three puppets. Crow had been shattered and flew around with its poisoned blades, cutting all comers. Black Ant crushed and rolled over shinobi after shinobi, while Salamander protected their long-range fighters. Sand burial, Gaara spoke as he trapped droves of Kiri shinobi in his sand. To the surprise of his siblings, he didn't kill them. He left them trapped in the sand. This is Suna, north gate is secure, Temari called into a calm line. The western gate. 8 massive tentacles smashed and crushed, making paths for the rebel forces to burst forth. May lead the charge, spewing waves of lava at the defending forces. Cower in fear, the 8 tails in here. B's voice thundered. May smiled as his thunder voice still did make his raps sound any better. It took them little time to lock down the western side of the village thanks to May Y Otan and B's Bijou state. The enemy forces quickly surrendered. New Kiri has taken the western gate, May spoke over her calm. The eastern gate. A massive cat cloaked in flames smashed through the eastern gate, followed by the Konoha forces. The cat's claws raked across the ground, leaving deep gouges in bodies of shinobi. Several spinning pillars shot past her as members of the Inuzuka clan launched their attack. The sound of chirping echoed out as Kakashi and Sasuke came in with Chidori's charged. Like the spinning pillars, several large balls of flesh rolled past. The Akimichi clan members joined in the assault. Secure the gates. Watch out for civilians, Kakashi called out as the shinobi were pushed back with little difficulties. Konoha forces here, east gate is ours, Sakura said as she and the other Mednin entered. The southern gate. 4 figures stood at the gate. One stood in front of the others. The armored shinobi of the hidden cloud. He held his naginata in his hand and looked over his shoulder to his friends. Let's go wild, the deepened voice said as he shot into the village, cutting down any shinbo foolish enough to attack. Samui, Omoe, and Karui followed him in their swords, and Tanto all drawn and ready to strike. Omoe and Karui took to the alleyways checking for hiding forces. Samui followed Naruto through the village, watching his back. Naruto's naginata cut through 3 men with little difficulty thanks to his wind chakra enhancing its sharpness. His armor became stained in their blood, making him the truest form of his title. The crimson shinobi, the gray of his arm dyed red from his enemy's blood. Naruto narrowly leapt back as a massive hand crashed into the ground in front of him. He looked to see a gigantic turtle before him. I should be honored that the Mizukage comes after me rather than one of the others, Naruto grinned under his helm. Mizukage! The Mizukage defending the south gate, Samui called into her calm. I know what you are, the deep voice of the great turtle replied. Then there's no hiding it, Naruto said. The blood boiled off his armor as it became golden. The mixture of his 9 tails cloak mixed with his armor was truly immaculate. I'll crush you! The turtle shouted as he lashed out. Naruto sidestepped the much slower beast and lashed out with his naginata, slicing up the turtle's side. The blade cut through flesh and hardened shell like butter. An echoing shout of pain rolled out as the turtle collapsed and the form started to shrink. Naruto grinned as the turtle disappeared and a wounded Mizukage stood in its stead, his side gushing blood. I didn't think the 9 would be so much stronger, the young-looking Mizukage spoke. Now you've learned. Naruto took a step forward before a set of golden chains came flying out of the darkness and grabbed the Mizukage. What is this? The Mizukage screamed as Mei and a young red-haired girl walked forward. Terumi? What are you doing? Naruto asked. Mei looked solemnly, her eye filled with pain as the chains started to pull at Yagura, but his body remained. Naruto's eyes widened as he saw what was happening. The golden chains were pulling the 3 tails out of him. Yagura dropped to his knee as the power was pulled out of him. He could hardly move, much less prevent this from happening. I wish it didn't have to be like this, but Kiri must keep its beast, Mei said as the red-haired girl grabbed the chain and yanked, fully pulling the beast from the Mizukage. You're releasing the beast, Samui shouted. No, he will be sealed, the red-haired girl said as the beast started to move towards here. How? Naruto asked. An Uzumaki sealing technique, Mei said. With the use of her chakra chains, young Karen here has chosen to become the Jinchuriki of the 3 tails, Mei added. You don't like it, deal with it. She chose this life? Naruto asked. Yes, I was ready to simply kill him and let the beast reform in the vast waters of the lands of water, Mei said as they watched the weakened beast be sucked into Karen's body. Once the beast was completely absorbed, a chain-link seal appeared on Karen's stomach, signifying the beast's successful sealing. Naruto looked to the girl, then gave a sigh. Then she must be trained to control the beast, Naruto said. And what would you know of controlling a beast? Karen asked. Plenty, Naruto said as he removed his helm, showing his face. His blue eyes locked on Karen as he walked forward. You're one too, Karen said. Of the 9, Naruto said. And Naruto turned to see Hinata, and most of the Konoha 11, the Sand siblings and his fellow Kumo Jinchuriki. Been a while, eh? Naruto looked to the Konoha shinobi. Naruto, is it really you? Hinata asked. Yeah, I'm with Kumo now, Naruto said. Let's finish up here. I think there's a lot we have to talk about now, Mei said as she looked down at the fallen body of the ex-Mizukage. Is he dead? Sakura asked. His beast was pulled out of him, he's dead, Mei replied. Kirigakure is ours. The rebel forces cheered. Naruto could tell one hell of a black lash was bound to happen now that his identity was known. He mentally yelled at himself for taking off his helm. The Konoha 11, the Sand siblings, part of the Kiri rebel forces, and his fellow Kumo shinobi stood before Naruto, whom now wore his crimson kosode and black hakama once more. Gaara was the first to step forward. He seemed to be slightly hurt by Naruto. Why didn't you come to Suna? Gaara asked. I was originally going to, but I felt a pull, that's the best I could call it. A pull or maybe a need to come to Kumo, Naruto explained. Gaara seemed to accept the answer, then stepped back. Naruto, I was given an order if I happened to see you, Kakashi said, stepping forward. I do not heed the call of the Konoha Council anymore, Naruto said with venom. He still loved his first home, but simply mentioning the council that banished filled him with rage. The council is demanding you return, Kakashi said. Are they? Naruto asked. He almost wanted to laugh. I don't know who made them change their minds or why, but they want you back, Kakashi said. Sorry, Naruto shook his head. I am sworn to Kumo now, even if I wasn't, I'm never returning to Konoha. Naruto then turned his eye to Karen, whom stood behind Mei. She said you used an Uzumaki sealing technique. Naruto took a step towards the red-haired girl. Yeah, what of it? Karen asked. Are you one? Naruto asked. Yes. Karen Uzumaki, Karen replied, still not understanding. Then we are kin. Naruto offered a hand to the girl. Excuse me? Karen asked. Naruto Uzumaki, at your service, my kinsman, Naruto said with a bow. Even B and the others were slightly taken back by this act. Okay, yeah, how do I react to that? Karen asked. I'm just messing with you. It's nice to know that there are other Uzumaki out there, Naruto said as he pulled the girl into his arm, hugging her. Okay, this is a little better, but I still don't know what to do, Karen said with a light chuckle. Dude, Naruto, what the hell happened? Kiba asked suddenly. I would assume you mean the whole Crimson Shinobi title? Naruto asked. Yeah, that, Kiba said. He still couldn't believe that Naruto was some kind of butcher now. I was shown the cruelty of this world when I was exiled. So I took upon myself to be rid of my foolish no-killing policy, Naruto said. His attention turned to his fellow Kumo Nin. They were waiting for orders as he was still in command. Yujuto-chan, you're the fastest of us, so head back to Kumo and tell them mission complete, but me and B will be staying here for a short time. After all, my cousin needs help learning how to control her bijou, Naruto said. With a nod, Yujuto turned and took off at a freakish speed. Be you cool with helping out Karen? Naruto asked. No sweat, bro, we'll make her a pro AW, yeah. B grinned. Naruto shook his head, then looked to the last three. Samui, Karui, Omoi, you three can head back to Kumo, Naruto said. The three paused for a moment before Omoi turned and walked away. Karui followed after a moment, but Samui stayed. You really think Reikage-sama will be okay with you staying here? Samui asked. Probably not, but I won't abandon kin, Naruto said as he turned to Karen, but after a moment he looked to Gaara. Do you think we could help Gaara out too? Naruto asked. He's got a weak-ass seal, bro, B said, stopping his raps for a moment. He rubbed his jaw before he leaned down and whispered into Naruto's ear. Yeah, he could help a lot, Naruto said as he bit his thumb and slammed his hand down, summoning a frog. Hey Naruto, what's up? A large orange frog asked. I need the pervy sage, Gamakichi, Naruto said. Gamakichi looked to see Gaara. You want to help the crazy bastard that tried to kill you? Gamakichi asked. He's a brother, Naruto said with a stern look. Gotcha, I'll get the perv, Gamakichi said as he vanished. Are we done here? Naruto asked. Dude, I'm pretty sure we all got questions for you, Kiba said. Naruto sighed then smiled. Sure, let's grab some food and catch up. Been a while since I've seen any of you, Naruto said as he led the group out of the tent. Most of the Konoha 11 had talked to Naruto and gotten their closure. Whether it was the near-worthless stare-downs between himself and Shino or Niji, or the overly emotional and heartfelt conversation between himself and Sakura or Hinata. Currently Naruto stood looking at his one-time best friend Sasuke Uchiha. He was surprised how much Sasuke had changed. He had taken on Naruto's old view and tried his best to see the good in everyone. Well, almost everyone. He still wanted to kill Itachi. How is it in Kumo? Sasuke asked. Good. The villagers were a little hesitant of me at first, but that was actually because I was a foreigner, not a Jinchuriki, Naruto replied. How have you been? I'm surviving. The curse seal burns once in a while, but other than that I've held off the need to use it, Sasuke replied. Pervy Sage said he's almost done with the removal jutsu, so maybe you won't have to much longer, Naruto said. Well, I have to get going. It was good to see you again, Naruto, Sasuke said as he offered his hand to Naruto. With a grin, Naruto grabbed his hand and forced him into a hug. I do miss you guys, remember that, Naruto said before the two separated and Sasuke left to meet up with the rest of the Konoha forces. A few days had passed and Naruto stood before both Karen and Gaara as that sat with their eyes closed and meditated. He thought it was a little early for Karen to be trying this, but B assured him there wasn't really a bad time. B was currently sitting in front of Gaara helping him subdue his beast. It was thanks to Jiraiya coming at Naruto's request that they were able to do this. The aged sage was standing behind them waiting for Gaara to win over so he could strengthen his seal without worry of the beast lashing out. Within Gaara's mindscape, all that could be seen was a massive desert of black sand. Gaara could tell what it was. It was the Shikaku's true sand. Sand as black as the Biju's heart. He could hear a low grumble behind him. He slowly turned to see a hardly changed Shikaku growling at him. Gaara was slightly worried his sand wouldn't be much help here. Gaara took one more breath before he tore the seal away and jumped back. Freedom! Shikaku shouted before he was smashed in the face by Gaara's sand. Sand chains, Gaara spoke as chains rose out of the sand and shackled the great raccoon. Shikaku roared and shattered the chains. You think I'll just let you use my sand on me? Shikaku roared. This was what Gaara was worried about. He didn't really have any jutsus other than his sand. I will take control of you, Gaara spoke as he rose his hands forcing the sand to obey him. Shikaku's roared as he tried to lash out but was subdued by his own black sand. No! This can't be! Shikaku screamed as he felt his strength being sapped away. I won't go quietly. He screamed again as the black sand forced him down, and Gaara grabbed onto his tail to begin the chakra removal process. Shikaku's eyes widened as he saw several octopod appendages move and aiding Gaara in the removal of his chakra. The great raccoon roared again, forcing some of the black sand off him. Gaara's eyes widened when he felt his chakra being stolen instead. He's too strong. Gaara dropped to his knees, unable to take the strain. Gaara! A voice screamed out. Gaara looked around, unable to find the owner of the voice. But he could tell it was familiar. The Shikaku had just about stolen all his chakra when a colossal hand appeared and knocked the raccoon away. Gaara looked to see a woman made of golden sand standing behind him with a smile on her face. I swore that I would always protect you, my son, the woman said as the black sand around Gaara slowly turned gold. Mother? Gaara looked at the woman with wide eyes. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. It was just like Naruto said his happened. He was on the brink of losing and his mother appeared. Gaara had hoped that the same would happen and Kami granted it. My son, my precious son, we don't have much time, Karura said as she stood beside her son. Gaara smiled and stood ready to take control. I won't lose. The Shikaku roared only to be smashed by the golden sand again. Now Gaara, take his chakra, Karura said. Gaara heeded the words and started to pull away the raccoon's chakra. This time, despite shouting and yelling, the Shikaku could do nothing to prevent his chakra from being taken away. Gaara stole away his chakra with one foul swoop. I did it, Gaara said. Karura smiled, then looked to Shikaku as it rose weakly before he could act, though a massive cage fell onto the Biju. No! I won't be caged again. Shikaku roared as the cage sealed around him and trapped him. Your seal has been greatly strengthened. Now you have his chakra and your peace of mind, Karura said with a smile. I have to go now, but remember that I will always love you. Karura gave one last smile before she faded away, turning the entire black sand desert to gold. Outside, Gaara's eyes opened slowly to see Kankuro, Temari, Killer Bee, and Naruto all staring at him. He moved to stand when he noticed something odd. His gourd had changed. It was now black with gold markings. He smiled, seeing the gold instantly reminded him of his mother. He decided to check out his sand and commanded it to move. That was when he saw his new sand. It was both gold and black. The two colors danced together as it moved around him. Now that's badass, Naruto said with a smile. Yo, I think the little red's finally down, B said, seeing Karen was completely motionless. Yeah, looks like she ready. Naruto approached only to be blown back as Karen's form was overtaken by a bluish-green aura. Her eyes opened to showing her eyes were still hers. Killer Bee was the first to react. And his action was to drop his jaw in shock. What happened? Naruto asked, standing up. She got control, B said, his raps forgotten. How? Naruto asked. Karen smiled widely as she stood and the aura faded away. Isabu was happy that I just wanted to talk when I explained that I only wanted his power to protect my new home. He decided to give me a shot and relinquished his chakra to me, Karen explained. That seems unfair, Gaara said, seeing Karen smile brightly. Yeah, that does, Naruto said before he cracked a grin himself. Way to go, Karen. Naruto pulled the red-haired girl into his arms for a hug. Karen returned the hug, then pulled back. So what now? Karen asked. Well, now Gaara returns to Suna and B and I go back to Kumo, Naruto said. What about the gut feeling? B asked, still not rapping. Gon, I'm going to guess it was Karen or the Three Tails, Naruto said. You must come to visit sometime, Gaara said with a smile. I will take care of yourself. Naruto shook Gaara's hand before the two Kumo shinobi left for home. Naruto stood before awaiting his punishment for returning later than promised. He figured he'd blown his chance at Jonin and was now SOL. Uzumaki Naruto, A spoke sternly. Naruto took a step forward, awaiting his Kage's command. I am proud of you. You took your mission one step further and helped Kiri's Jinchuriki control her beast. We were asked to help Kiri regain stability. Helping your kinsman gain control of her Biju will be of great help to them. So it is with little argument from the advisory council that I hereby grant you the rank of Jonin of Kumo, A said, making Naruto's face light up. Naruto wanted to jump for joy but figured it was a bad time. It's fine, Naruto, you should have seen what Yujito did when she became a Jonin, A said. Yes, she partied non-stop, right until she dropped B-wrapped. Naruto shook lightly then lost it. Yeah. I'm a jonin. Naruto screamed at the top of his lungs. A and B both laughed seeing his display. I'll also let you know you may now take a genin team if you wish, A said. I think about that one, Naruto laughed, deep within Konoha. What do you mean he won't come back? An aged man asked. It seems Uzumaki-san is happy in Kumo, a masked man said with a bow. The aged man gripped his cane tightly then looked to the man. Kill him, Sensei. His stealth should be sufficient enough to kill him, Danzo commanded. Permission to speak freely, sir? The man asked. Usually Danzo wouldn't allow this but just this once he would let this slide. Granted, Danzo said. Sai will die if you send him. He has the Nine Tails chakra, armor that seems impenetrable, and a naginata that cut through the Three Tails shell like butter, the man explained. Who would you suggest then? We can't let him walk around, Danzo said. Send the four, he said. You think they can win? Danzo asked. Promise them their freedom if they kill him. If they fail we lose nothing, if they succeed you can wipe their minds, the man said. Well thought, Tao. Send them and promise them their freedom, Danzo said. As you command, the man vanished. Back to Kumo. Naruto sat in a bedroom looking at a folder. It was a genin team. He wasn't sure if he wanted to take a team. After all, he was only 17, almost 18. Was he ready to do something like this? He still wasn't sure, but he figured he could at least look at some of the teams. Kensei Haikage, Masami Nishoku, and Zane, Naruto read aloud. Kensei Haikage, silver hair and eyes, constantly pulls pranks on his fellow classmen. Said to be dead last in the school. Masami Nishoku, blue hair, brown eyes, kunoichi of the year, and has obsessive love for ramen and training. Zane, black hair, orange eyes, most commonly found reading or sleeping. Geez, these kids are practically made to be led by me, Naruto laughed. Naruto looked up when he heard a knock at the door. That was when he remembered he was supposed to go out to dinner with Yujito, B and the others. He closed the folder and grabbed his kosode and reached the door. Hey, you ready? Samui asked. You're the one that came to get me? I figured Yujito would have been here to kick my ass for spacing out, Naruto laughed as he tucked his kosode in. Samui just rolled her eyes and started to walk away. Let's go, the others are waiting, Samui said. Her face was flushed from seeing Naruto without a shirt, and she did not want him to know she was blushing because of him. I'm coming, wait up, Naruto said as he grabbed his keys and locked his door before he followed after her. Naruto stood in a tree, his eyes watching over an academy. He still wasn't sure if he wanted to be a sensei. Sure, it sounded cool, but was he ready? Could he do it? Would it be safe to do so since Akatsuki were still on his ass? Especially since the 4, 5, and 7 had all been captured. They would be making their move on him, be Gaara, Yujito, or Karen really soon here. He figured now that Gaara had the Shikaku under his thumb he would be fine. But Karen was still very new when it came to her Bija powers, making her the ideal target. Uzumaki-san, Naruto turned to see a Kumo Jonin looking up at him. Hey Jay-san, Naruto replied. Reikage-sama wants to see you, Jay said before he turned and walked away. Naruto made the ram sign and vanished in a swirl of his red water. Gaara stood on the roof on the Kazekage's tower as a strange white bird flew overhead. A figure landed on the roof and spoke. Infiltration complete. The figure stopped when he noticed Gaara standing before him. Found me already yet? He asked. There are no birds like that in these deserts, Gaara replied as his sand started to flow out of his gourd. The man jumped back and threw a clay spider at the Kazekage. Gaara did nothing as his sand protected him from harm. The spider blew up and the sand moved away, showing the blonde man was on the bird once more. Gaara's eyes slowly followed him. Deidara assumed the redhead was waiting for him to make his move. Well, I don't want to keep him waiting, Deidara said as he made 5 clay birds and sent them at the sand wielder. Just like the first time the sand blocked the explosion. I don't remember anyone saying his sand was black and gold. That seems like something they should have told me. Deidara slowed, seeing Gaara still hadn't moved. Not going to attack? Deidara asked. I did, Gaara replied. Deidara's eyes widened when he felt something starting to squeeze him. He looked to see all the black on his cloak was coated in his black sand. Shit! Deidara roared as he ripped off his cloak just in time to survive as the sand crushed in. Deidara let out a sigh of relief. Futon, Kazekiri no Jutsu. Deidara looked to see the wing of his bird was sliced up and a figure appeared on the body. Puppet art, Senbon hell! The figure's mouth opened and Senbons shot out. Fuck! Deidara growled as he failed to dodge the Senbons and crashed into the Kazekage's tower. He looked up only to see black and gold sand encase him. Shit. I can't move, Sabaku Kyo. Deidara struggled with all his might but couldn't break free. Sabaku Soso, Gaara clenched his fists and blood erupted from the sand. Just like that, Akatsuki was down one member. Gaara turned his eyes on the entrance to the village. He could see a figure moving away from the gates at quite a clip. He figured it was the blonde's partner fleeing now that he or she was alone. Tsunade sat behind her desk with clenched fists. She was both furious and happy. She was pissed that Naruto wouldn't come home, but she understood why and was happy he had found somewhere he was happy. She wanted to have him back to be able to name him as her successor and to watch him grow up into a fine young man. But it seemed she would never have that. Hokage-sama, a voice asked. Tsunade looked up to see Kakashi stepping in. What is it, Kakashi? Tsunade asked. Here, Kakashi handed her a scroll with the Uzumaki swirl on it. Tsunade didn't hesitate to grab it and open it. She knew it was from Naruto. Hey Bachan, I'm happy here in Kumo, so don't beat yourself up. I've mastered my burden and even found something worth fighting for again. I met the 2 and 8 Tails containers and they both are cool. Me and Yujito, the 2 Tails, get food just about every other day. She's really cool and we have a lot in common. B, he's the 8 Tails, is awesome even if he raps all the time. He kicks ass and fights like a monster. Great training. Then there is Karui, she's a real firecracker like Sakura. I can't hang out with her too long, it remind me of you guys and that hurts. And I'm forgetting about Oma, I swear I found the one person weirder than me, his obsession with candy is kinda creepy. Was I that bad with ramen? Oh sorry I'm rambling here, thanks for the letter, I hope I can visit sometime. The number 1 knucklehead Kumogakure Shinobi Uzumaki Naruto. Tsunade slowly closed the scroll and wiped away a tear. She missed the blonde so much. Thanks Kakashi, Tsunade smiled. Kakashi gave a bow and left. Naruto stood alone in a field, he was sick of being followed. Come out, Naruto growled. As commanded, 4 figures shot out of the trees and surrounded him. Uzumaki Naruto, the first spoke. You 4, eh? I thought you guys were dead, Naruto said as he looked at the sound 4. Danzo found us on the brink and brought us back, Kidamura said. Naruto took a second to look over the 4. They all look almost exactly the same as they did all those years ago. Only now they all wore black pants with black undershirts, and white shits with the demonic version of the Konoha leaf. You are aware that I'll kill all 4 of you like nothing, right? Naruto asked. I think not, they said in unison, and they all did the last thing Naruto ever thought would happen. Taiya's eyes became Sharingans, Kidamura's eyes became Byakugans, Jirobo's right arm grew and Sakan summoned a wolf. Dojutsus, a Kimichi clan jutsus, and a summoning jutsus. This is just wrong, Naruto said as he watched Taiya and Kidamura jump back, taking their position at range while Jirobo and Sakan charged in. Naruto rather skillfully dodged the 2 but knew he was at a partial disadvantage. He didn't have his armor on, nor did he have his shinikoba. All he had was his fists, 2 kunai and a small spool of ninja wire. His opponents on the other hand were geared to the teeth. Naruto flipped backwards, activating his chakra cloak as he did. His body and clothes became gold with black accenting it. All he needed now was his weapon, and these 4 wouldn't last 2 seconds, dojutsus or not. Naruto looked to see he was surrounded by 5 now that Yukon and Sakan separated. Katan, Ryukan no Jutsu, Kidamaru spoke, spewing fire at Naruto. Futon, Detapa, Taiya's chest swelled, causing Naruto to have a bit of blood draw from his nose before the wind mixed with the fire. Raiton, Kangekiha, Sakan shot forth a wave of lighting. Doton, Dorio Dango, Jirobo lifted a truly massive rock from the ground and threw it at Naruto. Sueton, Teppadama, Yukon spoke, adding in a burst of water. Collaboration Jutsu, 5-element death jutsu, all 5 spoke at once. Naruto's eyes widened when the 5 jutsu converged on him. Yukon quickly fused back with his brother so they could do the next step. Shishienji. The 4 called out, trapping Naruto within as the jutsu went off. The explosion was so massive that the walls of the barrier jutsu were pushed out, and the 4 were nearly knocked back. I don't care who the fuck you are. Nobody could have survived that, Taiuya said. She spoke to see as the dust settled. There sat Naruto, bleeding heavily and panting. It had taken his entire cloak to counter the explosion, but he still wound up, getting burned up a bit. Well, fuck, that hurt, Naruto said as he slowly stood up. Taiuya's face reddened slightly seeing Naruto's lack of clothes, as now he was only clad in a charred hakama. How the fuck did you survive that shithead? Taiuya asked, willing her flush to go down. The same way I survive everything. Pure dumb luck, Naruto said as he felt something coming his way. Well, we'll just have to crush you again, Jirobo said as the barrier came down. Naruto looked at the 4. He was not only lacking his armor and weapon, but now he was injured. Just great. I'm hungry, Jirobo said. Come get some, fatty, Naruto smirked. Rage flashed into Jirobo's eyes and he charged forward. Jirobo, you dumbass! Taiuya yelled. Naruto sidestepped his wild grab and hooked him into a headlock. One down, Naruto said as he gave a jerk and Jirobo's body went limp. Dropping the orange-haired man, Naruto turned his attention to the other 3. So who? Naruto narrowly dodged an arrow that was aimed at right between his eyes. Close, Kidamaru grinned. Naruto kept his eyes peeled on Kidamaru. That was when he heard a low growl. Spinning around, he saw the wolf that Sakan had summoned. Shit! Naruto shouted as the wolf lunged and sunk its teeth into his shoulder. With a scream of pain, Naruto grabbed the wolf and crushed its neck, forcing it to disperse. Naruto jerked forward and hit the ground as an arrow pierced straight through his good shoulder. Slowly working his way up again, Naruto grabbed the arrow and pulled it out with a loud groan. You can't take another one, Kidamura laughed as he notched another arrow. Neither can you, Naruto shouted as he spun and threw the arrow with all his might. Sure was all Kidamura was able to say before the arrow stuck into his eye and dropped him. Taiuya pulled out her flute and ready to play. No music thanks, Naruto said as he shot towards Taiuya. No choice, she smiled before Naruto vanished. What? Taiuya looked around. Behind you! Sakan screamed, trying to get her attention. Taiuya turned around and sure enough there was Naruto. Before she could react, he stole away her flute and crushed it. Chakra's back. Naruto smiled as his golden form overtook him once more. He clenched his fist, smashed the former sound Kunoichi in the face, knocking her out. Fuck this, Sakan said as he turned and froze. He wanted to run, but now he was doomed. He got to watch as a pair of elongated claws sunk into his heart and removed it from his chest. The other set shot forward and sunk into Yukon's head, killing him as well. Yujito-chan. Naruto smiled happily as the woman wiped her nails off. Naruto's smile faded when he saw her face. What in the hell did you think you were doing? Yujito asked. She moved toward him and grabbed his shoulders. You could have gotten killed, Yujito said as she gripped his shoulders. I'm sorry, Yujito-chan, I didn't mean to worry you, Naruto said before he felt her slap him. Don't ever do that again, Yujito said as she pulled him into a hug. I won't, Naruto replied. I didn't know she cared that much, Naruto thought as they heard a groan. She's still alive, Yujito said as Tayuya slowly came to. I left her alive so I can ask her a few things, Naruto said as he walked over to the recovering girl. Tayuya slowly looked up to see Naruto standing just before her. Great, so what will it be? Torture? Rape? Or a slow, agonizing death? Tayuya asked. Naruto's face went red at the mentioning of rape. I would never touch a woman so. I simply want to ask you some things, Naruto replied. Can't tell ya, Tayuya said. She's probably got a seal stopping her from spilling secrets, Yujito said. As if to confirm what Yujito said, Tayuya lifted up her shirt, showing her stomach, which held a seal. Great, and I still suck at Fuinjutsu, Naruto said. The three turned their attentions when they heard a cough. Naruto looked in surprise, seeing it was Kidamura laying there with an arrow in his eye still. You're still alive? Tayuya asked in shock. I used my Nenki no Yoro in my eyes just before the arrow hit. I'll never be able to have a left eye again. The cords were cut in order to preserve my life, Kidamura said as he ripped the arrow and what was left of his eye out. That's gross, Naruto said. What, not going to end me? Kidamura asked. I wanted to know why you attacked me in the first place, Naruto said. We wanted our freedom. Even if it was for a short while, Kidamura replied. Freedom from whom? Naruto asked. Can't say, Kidamura replied. Naruto, look at their seals, maybe you can break them, Yujito said. I guess it won't hurt to look, Naruto said as he walked over to Tayuya and looked at the seal on her stomach. Naruto looked at the seal, rubbing his chin as he looked it over. It was masterfully done and very complex. I don't think I can, but Jiraiya might be able to, Naruto said as he looked at Kidamura. So what then? Kidamura asked. Well, answer this. Do you still want me dead? Naruto asked. I just want my freedom, the both answered. Good answer, Naruto laughed. He then bit his thumb and ran through a few hand signs. Summoning jutsu, with a puff of smoke a medium-sized yellow toad appeared. Hey Gameraito, Naruto smiled. What's up, Naruto? Gameraito asked. Mind sending a message to Jiraiya? When he has a chance, come to Kumo, Naruto said. Got it, Raito said as he vanished in a pillar of light. So you're going to get our seals off, interrogate us, then kill us? Kidamura asked. Nope. If you tell us everything, you'll be free. Kumo, Suna, Kiri, Iwa, Konoha. Wherever you want to go, you can go, Naruto said before he dropped to his knees, still weakened from the fight. Naruto, Yujito said as she held him stand. Follow us, don't try to run or Yujito-chan here will hunt you down, Naruto said. The two former Sounin nodded and followed the two back to Kumo. Back in Konoha. Sir, a man knelt before Danzo. They failed, I am aware, Danzo said as he rubbed his chin. I guess I'll just have to kill Naruto myself, he added. Is that so? Danzo turned to the man and his eye widened, seeing who it was. There before him was Sasuke Uchiha. I don't think I can allow you to kill Naruto, Sasuke said as his eyes started to spin. You think you can beat me? Danzo asked. Let's see what you've got, old man, Sasuke said. Kumo. For the second time in a few months, Jiraiya found himself inspecting a seal. This was made by a very skilled Fuinjutsuist. I would assume, Danzo, Jiraiya said as he, like Naruto, rubbed his chin while inspecting the seal. Can you break it? Naruto asked. Yeah, it's strong but sloppy. Danzo must have only been observing rather than doing it himself, Jiraiya replied as he pulled out a brush and ink set. What do you need? Tayuya asked. For you both to strip down your upper house, yes, I mean your bra too. I need full skin constant with this counter seal, Jiraiya said with a surprising amount of seriousness. Naruto rolled his eyes, thinking Jiraiya was trying to be a pervert. You grab anything and I'll kick you so hard you'll become woman, Tayuya said. There are two things in this world I don't joke about, Jiraiya said, still with his serious face. My research and Fuinjutsu counter seals. Both require my full attention when being done or it can be fatal. Jiraiya then dipped the tip of his brush into the ink and started to write on Tayuya's naked chest. Naruto watched in surprise as Jiraiya covered the girl's chest, shoulders, neck, stomach, arms and back with a massively intricate seal. Without a word he moved to Kidamura and did the same, except he only did 2 of his 6 arms. Once the 2 were fully inked up, Jiraiya rubbed his hands together and placed a hand on both of their stomachs. Fuinjutsu, tearing seal, Jiraiya spoke as the ink started to glow red and both of the Exoto Nin started to scream in pain. The pain was so intense their bodies completely seized up, they couldn't even buckle over in pain. Kai! Jiraiya shouted as he pulled his hands back and the ink along with the seals came off their bodies and became a pair of floating ink wells. After a second both wells burst into flames and were no more. There the seals are gone, Jiraiya replied while panting. Naruto smiled and helped Jiraiya over to a chair so he could rest. Okay, you two can put your shirts back on, Naruto said. The two obeyed and redressed. Are we really free? Kidamaru asked. After you answer my questions, Naruto replied quickly. The two nodded. If this got them their freedom, they would gladly sell out Danzo. Okay, what do you want to know? Kidamaru asked. Everything from how you survived and why you came after me, Naruto said. Okay, well, I don't know how I survived. I simply woke up in a cell with the others nearby. After a week in that cell, a man came to us. He looked like he could barely walk and his face was covered in bandages. He called himself Danzo and said we were not a part of Root, Kidamaru said. He then picked me and Kidamaru out and started to experiment on us, saying we were more unique than the others. That was when he put the Sharingan in my head and the Byakugan in Kidamaru's head. He seemed to take a special interest in the fact that we could activate and deactivate them, Taiya explained. After that he started our training after he sealed us, and told us if we disobeyed he'd activate the seals. And those hurt like fuck, Kidamaru said. I'm finding it hard to believe he just put dojutsus into your heads, Naruto said as he crossed his arms. You think we understand it much better? Taiya asked. We wake up, get tortured and train for 3 years, then he sends us at you. Whatever, just finish up, Naruto said. Well, after he trained us we became his special task force. He would send us out of the village to assassinate people he wanted gone. You were one of them, Kidamaru said. I guess that makes sense. I won't go back to Konoha, so he wants me gone so he can seal the fox into someone else and have the Jinchuriki back in Konoha, Naruto said while nodding his head. Not possible, Jiraiya said quickly. Naruto looked to Jiraiya. So far only an Uzumaki can contain the nine-tailed fox, Jiraiya said. Like Mito-sama, Kushina and yourself, Naruto nodded then looked back at the two. Well, the Raikage said I could hold up my end of the bargain, so you two are free, Naruto said. Taiya looked to Kidamaru, whom shrugged then nodded. I kind of wanted to stay here, this place seems peaceful, Taiya said. That's up to the Raikage, Naruto replied. Can you get us a meeting with him? Kidamaru asked. I suppose, Naruto said, rubbing his chin once more. The two weren't sure if Kuma would be better or worse, but it was worth a shot. Do you guys still want to be shinobi? Naruto asked. I'm sick of fighting, I just want to live, Taiya said solemnly. I'm just sick of being forced to fight. Fighting for my home would be different, Kidamaru said. Well, let's go see if Raikage-sama will see you, Naruto said as he led the two out of the room followed by Jiraiya. I see you around, Gaki, Jiraiya said as he took his leave once they were out of the building. Danzo flipped backwards as he narrowly dodged a Chidori from Sasuke. Danzo didn't find Sasuke a threat. But he was also on the defensive since he hadn't been able to free his arm yet. You think you can just kill me? Danzo asked. You are planning on killing someone I consider precious to me. I will kill you for that, Sasuke growled as he charged a second Chidori in his free hand. Double Chidori. Danzo flipped back and pulled his arm out of his sleeve, breaking off several metal wraps showing his arm. An arm with 8 Sharingan eyes. Sasuke's eyes widened when he saw that. You stole the eyes of my family, Sasuke said as he looked at the red eyes. That I did. Some good came from that night, Danzo said as he unwrapped his face showing a 9th Sharingan. I used to have 2 more, but I gave a set to an experiment, Danzo said. What experiment? Sasuke asked. Her name is Tayuya. Surprisingly, unlike myself or Hataki, she can actually do as you can. She can activate and deactivate her eyes, Danzo said. So you desecrated the tombs of my clan, experimented on shinobi that should have been put to death, plotted to kill a former shinobi of Konoha, and openly admit to it all, Sasuke said with a bit of surprise. Yes, everything I have ever done is for the betterment of this village, Danzo said as he ready to activate his first Sharingan. Good, that means I can say this. Danzo Shimura, by the power given to me by the Hokage, Tsunade Senju, I, Sasuke Uchiha, head of the Konohagakure military police, hereby place you under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder on an allied shinobi, desecration of the Uchiha clan's mausoleum and the dead within, and withholding information from your Hokage, Sasuke said, making Danzo's eyes widen. There is no such thing at the Konoha military police anymore, Danzo spat. There wasn't until last night. By the command of the Hokage, I was allowed to reinstate the KMP and hire on shinobi I believe to be worth of the status, Sasuke explained. So now you have 2 choices, submit and be arrested or fight and become a nuke nin of Konoha, Sasuke said. I'll never just submit, Danzo spat, his rage starting to fill him. Everything he had worked for just went down the drain in the span of 2 minutes. His plans for Konoha as its Hokage, all of his work he put in route. I'm glad you said that, Sasuke said. Danzo growled and charged at Sasuke. His Sharingans ready to be used. Unfortunately for him, Sasuke's eyes were stronger, and he knew it. Ducking a swing of his kunai, Sasuke rolled away from Danzo and ready to attack. Danzo was filled with rage. His attacks were blind and open. But he was still freakishly strong and fast. Sasuke was purely on the defensive against Danzo. Sasuke finally got the opening he was waiting for when Danzo lunged at him with his eye-coated arm. Sasuke ducked forward and focused all of his lightning chakra into his hand as he drew a wakatashi he had hidden in his sleeve. Chidori blade. Sasuke brought the blade up. Danzo only had an instant to react. But that instant was too short. As he tried to pull his arm away, the blade cut through, taking his arm at the elbow. In doing so, Danzo lost all but one of his Sharingans. Danzo roared in pain as he grabbed the stump of an arm, trying to stop the bleeding. Unfortunately, he left himself wide open and 3 fingers dug into his skull and ripped out his last Sharingan. With another roar of pain, Danzo dropped to the ground, rolling in his anguish. Sasuke took the moment to use ninja wire and chakra suppressing seals to bind Danzo. With a quick few hand signs, Sasuke placed a burning hand on Danzo's stub of an arm and cauterized the wound. Time to go in, Danzo, Sasuke said as he opened a scroll and focused his chakra, making them both vanish in a burst of smoke. Kumogakure. Naruto stood before the Raikage, having finished giving his report. Rubbed his chin for a moment before he nodded. And what is your plan for those two? A asked. I want to help them. Free them from Danzo, Naruto said. Let me speak with them, A said. Mabui nodded and forced the two to kneel before the imposing form of the muscular Kage. What is it you want? A asked. I want freedom to pick my battle, to be able to fight when I want it, not because someone's forcing me to do so, Kadamura said. And you, little girl? A asked. I just want to stop fighting, I'm tired of it, Tayuya said. If I were to let you leave this place, what would you do? A asked. I would leave, I would find some place to call my own, Tayuya said. I would rather stay, perhaps pledge myself to your forces, Kadamura replied. A rubbed his chin for a moment. Raikage-sama. Yujito is in trouble, a man came into the office. Naruto looked to see he was heavily wounded and nearly dead. I'll go, Naruto said as he threw his helm on. Go, I'll get B and some other to send help, A said, and Naruto was gone in a blur of gray. Yujito knelt bleeding badly, she was done for. She had no chance at stopping these two. Hell, the masked one hadn't even attacked yet. The silver-haired one was beating her by himself. Yujito weakly stood, her body was heavy and weak. Naruto, Yujito thought as her mind slowly went to the blonde-haired man. Time to go, kitty cat, the silver-haired man said as he shot towards Yujito. Haiden! The masked man screamed, trying to get the man's attention. Before Haiden could react, he found his head off his shoulders, and before Yujito stood a golden armored man. Red eyes locked on them, and a naginata in his hand. You hurt my Yujito-chan. The man's voice was thunderous and filled with rage. Your Yujito? The head of Haiden asked. How can you still talk? Yujito asked in shock. Easy, Jashin made me immortal, Haiden laughed. The golden man simply picked up his head while his eyes stayed locked on the masked man. With a toss, Haiden's head ended up in Yujito's arms. Take his head away, he's no threat, Naruto said as he glared at the masked man. I can't leave you alone, Naruto-kun, Yujito said. I'll be fine, Naruto replied as he spun his weapon and glared at the masked man. But Kakaza, don't let this bitch go, Haiden shouted. Shut up, Kakaza said as he took off at Yujito. His eyes widened when Naruto literally vanished before his eyes. Your opponent is me, Naruto growled as Shinikaba tore through Kakaza's shoulder. Kakaza flipped back a few times as the wound on his shoulder pulled shut. I know you, Samui, had me read about history, how you are alive is beyond me, Naruto said. I'll alive because I'm not sharing secrets with you, Kakaza growled. Need some help? A voice called out. Naruto shot back as a ball of fire and a stream of water shot at him. Fuck, I should have known my hunters would show up, Naruto said as Itachi and Kisame appeared behind Kakaza. Where's Haiden? Itachi asked. Two took his head away with her, Kakaza replied. Great 3-on-1, Naruto said as he knelt ready for what came next. Katan, Tsukaku, Kakaza spoke as fire erupted from his mouth. Kato, Gokaku no Jutsu, Itachi joined in letting loose a massive fireball. Both watched as a figure appeared where Naruto was and took the hit. All 3 of the Akatsuki members wanted to facepalm. Naruto had pulled one over on them by using Haiden's headless body as a shield. Itachi Uchiha, Naruto spoke. Going to kill me for my brother? Itachi asked as Naruto appeared in front of him. The red eyes returned, Naruto said before his Shinikaba clashed with the Samahata. Itachi froze, his body complete unmoving. What the fuck does that mean? Kisame asked right before a foot met his face and threw him away. Yo, Killer Bee rocking his killer melody. Killer Bee shouted as he landed next to Naruto. Well, this will be fun, Kisame grinned as he and Kisame quickly started to fight. Naruto looked, seeing Itachi was still frozen, and Kakaza looked pissed. I'll crush you and bring you back to leader, Kakaza said as he tossed off his cloak and ready to fight. Not if I take your head after all that money on your head could set me up for years, Naruto grinned as he spun his weapon once more. Doton Doma. Kakaza's arm turned dark as he ran at Naruto. Aim now! Naruto narrowly dodged Kakaza's fist and lashed out his spear tore through Kakaza's chest. Arg! Kakaza jumped back as he felt a heart get cut in two. Fuck, that was my lightning heart. Naruto took the brief pause and attacked. The still darkened arm of Kakaza rose up to block the cut. As the blade started to cut through, Kakaza quickly parried the swing. You don't seem as tough as you let yourself on to be, Naruto said as he slid to a stop. In the words of my former teammate, I'll fucking kill you, Kakaza shouted as he charged forward. Naruto Uzumaki, Itachi's voice spoke. Straight from the Gadami Hokage Tsunade Senju, Naruto said as he flipped back. Itachi paused again. But before he could speak, the truth is out in Konoha, it won't be long before this leader finds out, Naruto added. Then it is done. Itachi asked, watching Naruto dodge another swing from Kakazu. The council, the civilians, the Hokage, the shinobi, even Sasuke, Naruto said as he rolled away and tossed the scroll to Itachi. Itachi took the scroll and opened it to read the contents. Itachi, are you going to help? Kakazu asked. Yes, Itachi burned the scroll. My apologize, Kakazu. Itachi shot forward a kunai in his hand. Naruto's red eyes widened as he narrowly dodged Itachi's swing. Amaterasu, Itachi spoke. His body quickly turned and the black flames ignited on their target. Kakazu's back. The 3 remaining masks all burst and were destroyed. No! Kakazu screamed as he was brought down to 1 heart. Bye, Naruto spoke as his Shinikaba stabbed into his chest and through his final heart. Kakazu froze, his body slowly went limp as he cursed Itachi's name. Good to see you're back, Naruto said as he looked at Itachi. Itachi simply nodded and turned his eyes towards Kisame, who just punted his own sword away from himself, cursing heavily. Hey Itachi! Kisame's voice died on his lips, seeing Kakazu's body was slowly burning. Kisame, it's time, Itachi spoke. So it would seem, Kisame said as he pulled out a scroll and tossed it to Itachi before he pulled one out himself. With 2 bursts of smoke, the 2 men were now clad in white versions of their cloaks. Naruto marveled at the cloaks. Snow white with red clouds that had golden borders on them. Kisame now held a very familiar sword in his hands as well. Naruto blinked a few times to ensure it was what he saw. And it was Kisame now held the Kubikura Bocho on his shoulder. You're with Konoha? Naruto asked in shock. In a sense, Kisame replied with a grin. You've got to be shitting me, Naruto said as he took off his helm. Killer Bee had the same dumbfounded look as he hoisted the Samehada up into his arms. What's next? You going to say Sasori is still with Suna? Naruto asked. No, he is currently hunting the tree tails, Itachi said. Karen will kick his ass, Naruto said with a smile. So are we done, or are we going to have more fun? Killer Bee asked. We're done and I'm going home, Kisame said as he started to walk away. As am I have a feeling I have a very long talk with a certain brother of mine awaiting me, Itachi said as he walked away as well. Let's go find Yujito-chan, Naruto said as they left. Naruto jumped out of the cave they had been in to see Yujito resting against a tree. She was still bleeding, but it had lessened. Naruto quickly moved to her side, his hand gently touched her shoulder. How are you doing, Yujito-chan? Naruto asked. I've been better, I'll survive, Yujito said as she tried to stand. If I had my body I'd cut your ass up, Haiden said with a growl. Too bad your body is a smoldering corpse, Naruto said. What? What happened to my body? Haiden shouted. Your body got a good roast, now it looks like toast, be wrapped. Please be stop it, Yujito said weakly as Naruto helped her stand. Fine, for now I'll cut it out, Be said with a disappointed huff. Come on, let's go home, Naruto said as the 3+1 head left for home. Somewhere near Kirigakure, a young red-haired girl slammed into a wall. She quickly rolled and dodged a puppet set on impaling her with its razor-sharp blades. She was exhausted, her fight had been going on forever, it felt like. She had managed to destroy what she thought was Sasori. But in fact it had been a puppet that he rode in. The real puppet master stood a good way away from her with a puppet that she knew to be the missing third Kazekage. Just given I hate to keep people waiting, Sasori spoke in his ever monotone. Karen just raised her middle finger to him, then dropped to her kneel. She was done for. Fuck you, Karen hit the ground, unable to move anymore. Time to go. Sasori's puppet moved to pick her up. Yotan, yokai no jutsu. A voice echoed out. No! Sasori roared as his prized puppet was coated in lava and reduced to nothing. You think I'll just let you take Karen? Mei said as she panted lightly. She had ran as fast as she could to get to Karen. You're wasting my time, Sasori said as he unleashed his ultimate power. Hundreds of puppets appeared before Mei. Karen, are you okay? Mei asked, not taking her eyes off the puppet master. Just playing possum, Mizuki-sama, Karen said as flipped to her feet. Well, time to show off, Mei said. Gotcha, Karen said as her skin took on a green hue and her eyes turned into a deep shade of crimson, and finally a single tall appeared behind her. So you've got some control? Sasori asked. His eyes shot open when he felt a handful of puppets suddenly explode. His eyes slowly moved behind him to see several Kiri shinobi. Sasori growled before his puppets started to move. The Kiri shinobi were certainly numerous. Sasori was losing puppet after puppet. He noticed the main reasons were a man with an eye patch, a blue-haired boy, and of course the Mizukage. His eyes started to dart around as he looked for Karen. The girl had vanished when he looked over his shoulder. That was when he noticed the water was disturbed. Karen had gone under the water. Thanks to Isabu she could breathe and swim much faster in water. You're running low, Mei said as another wave of lava wiped out a group of puppets. Sasori changed his focus. He wanted that bitch dead. All of his puppets turned and charged at Mei. I might fail my mission, but I will kill you, Sasori said as the puppets got closer and closer. Suiton, Suryuden no Jutsu. Sasori spun to see a massive dragon made of water charging towards him. He tried to jump away but failed. The dragon caught his legs and slammed him into the wall and through it. The sudden high caused his puppets to fall, their strings cut. Yotan, yokai no jutsu, Mei spewed lava forth and removed the last group of puppets. The only one left now was Sasori, who Karen was already going after. Get back here, Karen roared as she landed right in front of Sasori, as he pieced himself back together. Said puppet master simply glared at Karen. He was low on chakra, put of puppets, and in the middle of enemy territory. Why? He growled. Why didn't my poisons work on you? My bloodline allows me to heal myself from cuts, burns, and apparently poisons, Karen said. So that's why you bit yourself, Sasori said. Yes, now it's time you die, Karen said as a large tail smashed into him, crushing him into the ground. Strike after strike she smashed the puppet's body. She stopped once his body was in pieces. But she could still sense chakra from him. Ah, so that's what you are, Karen said as she picked up a black cylinder with veins coming out of it. With a low growl she crushed the heart, and felt the last bit of chakra vanish. Karen, a voice called out. I'm fine, Mizuki-sama, Karen replied. Is he dead? Mei asked as she landed next to the redhead. Karen simply nodded and dropped the crushed heart onto the group. Dead as my clan, Karen replied. That was in bad taste, Mei said as she placed a hand on her shoulder. And I've told you. It's Mei, she added. You're the Mizuki. I shouldn't be calling you by your name, Karen said. And you've chosen to be the most important person in my life, Mei said as she gently kissed Karen's cheek. Karen flushed red and moved into the woman's arms. Mei smiled as she wrapped her arms around Karen. Let's go home, Kari-chan. Mei smiled and the two left for home. Kumo. Roughly a week had passed and Naruto sat in his home looking over the reports for what could possibly be his own genin team. Akatsuki had virtually vanished off the face of the earth. The immortal duel had been vanquished, Kisame and Itachi defected. Sasori and Deidara were killed trying to bring down their targets. And from what he had heard, Jiraiya had gotten a bead on the leader and was taking a small contingency of shinobi to assault him in Amigakure. If the leader was slain, would the organization fall? Would the surviving Jinchuriki be allowed to live in peace? Naruto rubbed his chin for a moment before he stood and grabbed the reports and left to see the Raikage. He had made his decision. Raikage, Naruto knelt before the massive man. It took a moment to see that Naruto held the reports for the students in his arm. So you've decided? Ei asked. Yes. It would be an honor to become a Jonin sensei, Naruto said as a small smile came to his face. Then you start in 3 weeks. Each sensei is given a chance to test their genin to see if they are truly worth of the shinobi life. So ready a test and I'll summon you when the day before they graduate to look over your idea, Ei explained. Of course, Ei-san, Naruto said as he stood and handed the folders to Mabui. You are excused, Ei said, and Naruto vanished in his red mist. Naruto stood his back against a wall as a woman glared at him. Naruto wasn't sure what he had done wrong, but he really didn't think he deserved this. Well? The woman asked. I don't know, it kinda just happened, Naruto said. It just happened? You just happened to call me your Yujito? Yujito growled. Naruto tried to think fast. He wasn't sure what he should do. Sure, he liked Yujito a lot, they had a lot in common. But he also felt something for Samui. Okay, I'll admit it, I like you, Naruto said with a red face. Yujito went quiet in a heartbeat. She wasn't sure what to do now. Then the memory of him and Samui flirting when they trained came to mind. And what about Samui? Yujito asked. I don't know what to tell you. I like you both, that's why I haven't done anything, Naruto said. You hear that? Yujito said. Yes, I did. Now Naruto knew he was in deep shit. Samui turned the corner and looked at Naruto, who might as well have been sweating kunai. You like us both but you won't make a move? Samui asked. It wouldn't be right, I have feelings for both of you but I don't want to hurt either of you, Naruto said. So you're going to remain all alone? Yujito asked. Yes, it wouldn't be right to date one of you when I have feelings for the other, Naruto said. Why not date us both? Yujito asked. Both Naruto and Samui gaped at that. What did you just suggest? Samui asked, now glaring at Yujito. Well, I'm not afraid to share as long as I get him too, Yujito said. I am so lost, Naruto said. Samui grabbed Yujito and pulled her away. Stay, she glared at Naruto, whom nodded furiously. The girl went around the corner where Naruto couldn't hear them. He figured Samui was going to argue with Yujito. Are you freaking serious here? Samui asked in slight shock. What is wrong with sharing? He likes us both. We like him, Yujito said. Yeah, except he wins. He gets 2 girls and we have to share, Samui growled. Yujito smiled lightly then shrugged. I'd rather share than not have any. 50% of something is better than 100% of nothing, Yujito said slyly. I want to hurt you sometimes, you know that, right? Samui said coldly. So are you in or what? Yujito said. I don't know, I've never been much of a sharer. What's mine is mine usually, Samui said as she crossed her arms. Yujito smiled and put her arm around Samui's shoulders before she started to whisper in her ear. Oh god, no way. I'd never, Samui said, pushing Yujito away. Oh come on, it'd be just a little experimentation, and we'd have him there too, Yujito smiled. Samui's face went beet red. Hear that? Fine, I'll try, just none of that, Samui said, still flushed red. Spoil sport, Yujito said as the two moved back to where Naruto still stood frozen. He obviously obeyed as he hadn't moved an inch. Well, we've decided you have to date us both, Yujito said. What, you and me dating Aya? Okay, Naruto said dumbly. He didn't really know what to say. He apparently just got 2 girlfriends. Well, I'll see you in a few weeks, I have a mission to go on, Samui said as she turned away. And I'm going to shopping, come one shadow clone boy. You get to carry the bags. Yujito laughed as she pulled Naruto behind her. Jiraiya stood in Amigakure under the torrent of water that always seemed to fall. He slowly made his way into a tower where he believed the leader of the Akatsuki was holed up. He moved through the halls ready for anything. Or so he thought. No way, Jiraiya spoke as he stepped into a room and found Konan looking at him. It's been a long time, Jiraiya-sensei, Konan said as her amber eyes watched the man. Jiraiya gave a sigh and closed his eyes. So Nagato and Yahiko are with you as well? Jiraiya asked as the orange-haired man in question landed beside her. Jiraiya, you've come to die? Pain asked. I've come to bring you down so the surviving Jinchuriki can live in peace along with this world, Jiraiya replied as he drew a pair of kunai. This world must know true pain before it can have true peace, Pain said as he drew a pair of black sticks. Konan lifted into the sky on a set of paper wings set on leaving the two to fight. Leaving so soon? Jiraiya asked. Pain will handle you, Konan said as she disappeared. Jiraiya was about to move when 3 more figures joined him. Ah, so you're not alone, Jiraiya said as he watched the 4. You cannot hope to win, Pain spoke. I'm not sure about that, Jiraiya said as a chirping sound echoed out from about the Pains. 2 of them looked up right as Kakashi and Sasuke appeared with Chidoris in hand. Chidori! Both shouted as their hands smashed into the ground, narrowly missing the 2 Pains. Cha! Another voice echoed out as one Pain came face to face with a pinkish blur and was smashed in the stomach with a huge amount of force. Double dynamic entry! 2 voice called out in unison and a pair of orange leg warmer covered legs cracked into the very same Pain that was hit by the pink blur. I guess this will require all of me, Pain spoke as 2 more Pains showed up. 6 on 6 it seems, Kakashi said. So it seems, the main Pain spoke. I will show you even 1-on-1 you cannot win, Pain added. I shall take the one with the spikes and combed back hair, Guy said as he jumped and the 2 vanished. Leave the main one to me, Jiraiya spoke. Yo! Girly, let's go! Sakura shouted, gaining the ire of the path. I shall fight the one with long hair, Lee said as he and his targeted path took off. I'll take the one with hair, Sasuke said. That leave you and me, old man. Kakashi gave an eye smile and the 2 moved away. With Guy and the Petra path, Mato Guy stood facing his chosen path of pain. He held a large grin and cracked his neck. I shall allow you the first strike, Guy said, getting the path to run forward, his fist cocked to strike. Just before his fist as he opened his hand in an attempt to grab Guy. Close, I never said I'd let you hit me, Guy said as he dodged the swing and planted a kick to the back on the path's head, sending him forward. I will not hold back, Guy said as he crossed his arms. The path he faced simply stood and did not speak a word before he charged in. Gate of opening open, gate of healing open, gate of life open, gate of pain open. Guy's skin now turned red as his hair started to stand on end as a visible steam came off his body. Gate of limit open, Guy shouted before he vanished from the path's view. An instant later the path's arm was torn from its body as Guy's fist tore through his shoulder. Before the path could truly register what was happening, it was over. Guy's fist tore into his chest and removed his head from its shoulders. It was unyouthful of me to go to such extremes, but this is not a time to speak of youth, Guy said solemnly as the gates closed and the recoil hit. With Kakashi and the Kara path, Kakashi flipped back as the path of pain attempted to grab him once again. He wasn't going to let the path touch him. He didn't know what it could do. Kakashi watched the man carefully, trying to figure out what it could do. That was when the path stopped abruptly and looked over its shoulder. Ah, has one of your brethren has been brought down? Kakashi asked. As the path turned back, its eyes widened, seeing how close Kakashi had gotten with Chidori in hand. He started to jump back but did so in vain. Kakashi's hand missed his heart, but 2 off a leg, rendering the path unable to escape. Farewell, Kakashi said as she used the tanto to remove the path's head. Unknown location. This is unacceptable. 2 of my strongest paths have been brought down, a red-haired man spoke before he started coughing. Nagato, Konan said with worry. I've lost Gakido and Jigakudo. Chikashodo and Ninjendo are both in dire straits, while Shirato and Tendo are surviving for the moment, Nagato spoke. How is this possible? They shouldn't be able to do this, Konan said while trying to think. I can understand Gakido and Ninjendo, their opponents are using the 8 gates, but Chikashodo, I can't. A single girl shouldn't be able to wield such monstrous strength, Nagato said with a growl. We need to leave, Konan spoke. We do. Only Tendo stands and Jiraiya-sensei has pulled out his trump card and the others are converging on him, Nagato spoke. Well, isn't that just sad? The 2 froze, hearing one of the last voices they wanted to hear. His deep voice chilled Konan's blood as the figure stepped into their sight. The near 6'4" form of Kisame Hashigaki stood before them with Kubikura Bocho on his shoulder. So you've come to kill me? Nagato asked. No, merely to keep you here. Jiraiya wishes to speak with you, Kisame grinned. So he knew all along? Nagato asked. Of course he did. That fool Tobi told me everything. He never expected Itachi to turn me, Kisame grinned as Konan ready to fight him. Stop, Konan, Nagato spoke, getting a confused look from the bluenet. I understand, Konan said after a moment. She didn't stand a chance against Kisame, not here. Good girl, Kisame laughed as a second figure joined him. Nagato knew it was useless now. Itachi and Kisame alone would prove to be too difficult to fight. But both together would be damn near impossible. It's over, Nagato said. The pads? Konan asked. All destroyed? How could such young shinobi wield such power? Nagato asked. The new generations should always outshine the last, Itachi spoke. Within Kumo, it had been 3 weeks and there had been no sign of Akatsuki since the complete obliteration of Pain. Kumo was given a report thanks to their newfound alliance. Naruto wasn't surprised to hear that Sasuke and Kakashi had been involved. He was surprised to hear that Sakura, Guy, and Lee were thought. But none of that mattered anymore. With Pain gone, Zetsu and Tobi had both completely vanished without a trace. Now Naruto stepped into a classroom with a smirk on his face. Well, it seems I'm the first sensei here, eh? Naruto spoke as the class froze seeing Naruto step in. I had just finished announcing the teams, the teacher spoke as he looked at Naruto. Then I'm right on time. Team 1 follow me, Naruto spoke as 3 kids jumped up and ran after him, all of them smiling brightly seeing they had someone with a huge rep as a sensei. Naruto looked at his first students and couldn't help but grin. Okay, how about we do a little introduction to better know each other? As the sensei, I'll go first, Naruto started. I am Naruto Uzumaki. I am the Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tailed Fox. I am the Crimson Shinobi. I like to train, eat ramen, and spend time with my 2 girlfriends as troublesome as they are. Naruto finished seeing the 3 blush lightly hearing he has 2 girlfriends. Ladies first, Naruto added. Oh, I'm Masami Nishoku. I love to train both mind and both. Ramen is my favorite food and I dream to become respectable kunoichi before I settle down and have a family. Naruto took the moment to inspect the girl as she talked. Like her profile said, she had hip-length blue hair tied into a pair of matching braids with a single bang left to hang in front of her face. She had deep amber eyes and a foxy smile that made him think of himself. She was clad in a black shirt with gold borders, a pair of knee-length dark blue shorts, knee-high black battle boots, fingerless gloves, and she wore her hataite around her waist reminding him of Lee and Guy. Naruto looked to the next one as he started to speak. I'm Kensei Hikage. I like to pull pranks. As for other likes, well, that would be ninjutsu training, reading, and the ladies. Kensei smiled. Kensei's silver eyes seemed to shine as he said ladies. Naruto looked him over seeing he was rather strangely dressed. He wore a pair of black dress pants rather than shinobi pants, a pair of black penny loafers, a silver dress shirt, and a black vest. He was dressed for a formal event rather than fighting. Finally, his hataite was resting around his neck much like how Hinata wore hers. The only thing you read is those dirty books, Masami said, getting a wide-eyed look from Naruto. Hey, Ika isn't the only thing I read, Kensei growled. Naruto couldn't hold back a light chuckle at Ika. Moving on, the 3rd genin spoke. I'm Zane, no surname. I am clanless and an orphan. I like to read anything, and sleeping. But when it comes to protecting something I like or care for, nothing will stop me. Unlike my teammates, I already have a signature style. I've made my own taijutsu style that I like to call rock golem style, Zane finished. Naruto noticed he was the most serious of his teammates, and took shinobi life very seriously. He was clad in black shinobi pants, black sandals, a deep crimson shirt, fingerless gloves, and his hataite was worn on his forehead to keep his spiky black hair out of his orange eyes. Hey, you might have your own taijutsu style, but I've already figured out my nature chakra, Kensei replied. And I'm the only one with any kind of range, Masami replied as she pulled out a saban and a spool of wire. Naruto clapped twice, getting his students' attention. Okay, the first thing at first, we'll be having a little test. I want to see if you're good enough to be my genin, Naruto said. What must we do? Zane asked. Naruto smiled. It was his turn to be on the other side of the test. First, we will head to my personal training ground, Naruto said as he offered his hand to his possible genin team. They all grabbed his hand. A moment later they were gone in a swirl of red mist. At Naruto's training ground, Naruto let his students regain themselves for a few moments. Sensei, was that red water blood? Zane asked. Quite acute of you, but no, it's a mixture I make in my free time. Water and red food coloring with a little bit of starch to thinking it so it looks like blood. It's for intimidation, Naruto explained. By the way, if you succeed my test, the Shunshin will be one of the first things I teach you along with summoning and your nature release. The 3 all looked at him in complete shock. None of those 3 things were usually taught to genin, even Kumo genin. What's the test? Kensei asked. Naruto smiled and pulled out a set of bells. He really wanted to do a unique test, but he couldn't help but do this one. Knowing that Jiraiya, Kakashi, his father, and he had all done the same kind of test made it kind of like a tradition to him. You are to get these bells from me, Naruto said. But how there are only 2 bells, what happens to the genin that doesn't get one? Masami asked. That's the fun part. The loser goes back to the academy while the 2 that pass will become my apprentices rather than simple genin, Naruto said as he pulled out a clock. You'll have until this goes off at noon to get the bells, Naruto added before he vanished. Like he expected, his genin instantly ran away from each other. He quickly made 2 shadow clones to watch what the genin did. Kensei flipped back and threw a pair of kunai at Naruto's clone only for it to easily dodge them and kick Kensei's feet from under him. The boy's eyes widened when Naruto's foot hit his stomach and threw him back. Rolling to a stop a good 10 feet away, the young silver-haired boy jumped to his feet and threw down a pair of smoke bombs and ran away. Recollecting himself, eh? The clone spoke as he rolled his shoulder and caught a pair of senbons. He grinned and yanked, seeing there was wire tied to the senbons. His eyes widened when a massive log rather than a little girl came flying at him. Clever, Naruto jumped away as the log smashed into the ground. Using senbons, wire and a trap, Naruto looked over his shoulder and threw the senbons he was holding and gained a yelp of surprise. He chuckled lightly as he felt Masami's chakra signature flee from him. Naruto raised an eyebrow. Zane had yet to attack him. With a shrug the clone dispersed. With Zane, Naruto watched as she saw Zane sitting rubbing his chin and talking out loud. If only two of us can pass, he has to go easy on us so we can get the bells, but if he goes to easy we won't learn what it's like to face a strong foe. Zane stood and closed his eyes. Oh, I think he might have gotten it, Naruto thought as he flashed away to check on his other students. Zane turned and decided to find his teammates and give them his 2 cents. With Kensei. Kensei was pacing feverishly as he tried with all his might to figure out what to do. How can I fight Naruto-sensei? He's all sorts of badass, and I'm just a genin. This isn't possible, Kensei thought as he spun and ran straight into a tree. Naruto choked down a laugh as he saw Zane appear from behind the tree. I think I know what we need to do, Zane said. 2 on 1? Kensei asked. 3 on 1, it's the best shot we've got, Zane said. You came up with the same idea as Mia? Masami's voice called out as she stepped into the same small clearing. But then one of us won't pass, Kensei said. I don't think that's the real point of this test. I'd wager it was more of a ploy to get us to fight each other rather than focus on him, Masami said. That makes sense, Kensei said, playing along. He was lost as it was. So 3 on 1? Zane asked. How about 3 on 3? Naruto laughed as he landed in front of the genin with a pair of clones. Shit, Zane said as he took his taijutsu stance. He wasn't ready to take on someone of Naruto's level, but he wasn't going to run. Masami pulled out a set on senbons ready to fight as well, while Kensei held a kunai in one hand and 3 shuriken in the other. Not going to run? Naruto asked. Our best chance is if we fight together, Kensei said as he kept his eyes locked on the clone that was looking at him. So 3 on 3 it is, Zane said as he ready to charge. Those bells are ours, Masami growled as she rose her hand to throw the senbons. I'm proud of you standing together and ready to face down a threat you can hope to beat. You pass, Naruto said, making all 3 drop to the ground in shock. What do you mean we pass? Masami asked. Yeah, we didn't get the bells, Kensei shouted. You've even lost me here, Sensei, Zane said. You passed because you chose to work together rather than fighting alone. Something my sensei once told me is someone who abandons their mission is trash, but those who abandon their friends are worse than trash. Naruto finished with a smile. So we passed? Kensei asked. Yes, you did, Naruto smiled. Yeah, Kensei shouted as he threw his arms up into the air. Sweet, Masami jumped around happily and Zane simply smiled in victory. So we start some specialized training tomorrow, then in a few days we'll start missions, Naruto explained. So we get the Shunshin now? Zane asked. No, first I gotta get your chakra reserves and control up before you learn those, Naruto said. Now then, Kensei, what is your chakra nature? Naruto asked. I'm strong futon with weak right on, Kensei grinned. Good, here you two go, let me see what you got so I can set up proper training, Naruto said as he handed Masami and Zane a slip of paper. Zane focused his chakra into the paper and watched as it started to crumble. Doton good, Naruto looked to Masami who was holding a soaking wet piece of paper. And a Sueton, looks like I've got 4 of the 5 elements between you 3, Naruto said as he rubbed his chin. How best to train his team. Okay, my little genin, you have the rest of the day off. Meet here tomorrow and we will start our training, Naruto smiled. The 3 nodded and left. Once they were out of earshot, Naruto glanced over his shoulder. How long are you going to hide there, Yuito-chan? Naruto asked. Just until the little ones leave, Yujito said as she stepped out and moved towards Naruto. Not going to make me your shopping bag holder again, are you? Naruto asked. No, I figured we could get some dinner, Yujito smiled. I like the sound of that. Naruto put his arm over Yujito's shoulders and the 2 left. Do you want it to be just the 2 of us, or should I send a clone to get Samui? Naruto asked. Just us sounds more fun that way, Yujito smiled. As you wish, Naruto smiled as the 2 left his training ground and made their way towards the residential district where the restaurants resided. Naruto couldn't help but stare at Yujito. She was simply stunning in all forms. Her long blonde hair remained unrestrained tonight and fell beautifully over her shoulders. She was clad in a pair of blue jeans and a black shirt, simple yet perfect. She smiled as she looked at her food. She hadn't noticed Naruto looking at her yet. Have I told you lately that you are simply stunning? Naruto asked. Just about every day, and you make me blush every time. So stop it, Yujito grinned. But you just get all the cuter when you blush, it makes me want to eat you up, Naruto replied, making Yujito blush even more. You're such a perv, Yujito said, trying to hide her blush. I'm not the one with the platinum editions of Aika Aika, Naruto retorted, making Yujito's blush return twice over. How did you know I had those? Yujito growled before she dropped her head. She knew what he was going to say now. I didn't, you just told me. Naruto laughed right before an egg roll hit him square in the nose. Naruto simply smiled more and picked up the roll and ate it. Sometimes I hate you, Yujito said. No you don't, Naruto said as he stood and offered a hand to Yujito. What? Yujito asked until she heard music. Oh no, I don't dance. Come on, it will be fun, Naruto said as he took Yujito's hand into his and led her to the dance floor. The music was the perfect pace for the 2 to enjoy slow dance. Yujito rested her chin on Naruto's shoulder as they danced. She closed her eyes, simply enjoying being in his arms. I love you, she spoke softly. What? Naruto asked, missing what she said thanks to the loud music. Don't worry about it, Yujito said louder, getting Naruto to focus back to their dancing. She wanted him to hear her, but maybe it was too soon still. Naruto sat in his apartment, his feet up on his coffee table as he watched a movie. One arm rested behind his head while the other was draped over Samui's shoulder. He smiled lightly, seeing Samui curled up at his side, her head on his shoulder, and a smile on her face. You're staring at me again, Samui said as her baby blue eyes looked up at him. I can't help it, I love the look of you in my arms, Naruto said with a smile. Samui flushed slightly, then turned her eyes back to the movie. You're such a dork, Samui said with a smile of her own. Yeah, but that's what you love about me, Naruto replied with a light chuckle. You got me there, Samui said before she curled in tighter to Naruto's body. Naruto in return tightened his grip around Samui's body. As the night dragged on and the movie came to a close, Samui felt a desire to stay. She didn't want to leave Naruto's side yet. Looking up at him, she wasn't surprised to see him staring at her yet again. She smiled softly, seeing his eyes on her. Her heart started to pound as she moved closer to him. Naruto leaned down as she moved up. Their eyes slowly started to close as their lips moved closer and closer together. Samui's heart all but burst from her chest once their lips met. Naruto moved one hand over her cheek and the back of her neck. Samui gripped the front of his shirt, trying to tell Naruto how she felt with their kiss. To transmit all her desire to him, and it worked. Naruto's free hand wrapped around the lower of her back, pulling her in close to him. Samui's hand slid up his chest and around his neck, pressing their bodies together. Naruto wanted more, he wanted everything Samui would give to him. His tongue started to prod at her lips, asking for entry. He was rewarded with her mouth opening and her tongue coming out to play. Their kissing quickly fell into a desire-filled tongue battle. Neither had noticed that they had fallen to the floor or that all of Naruto's paperwork on his plans for his genin went with them. Samui felt her needs spiking, and her hands answered by moving from his neck back to his chest, trying to pull off his shirt. Naruto more than willingly let his shirt be pulled up. Off was another question for both of them to do, that they would have to break their kiss. Reluctantly they did, and an instant later both were shirtless and kissing again. A sudden knocking fully snapped the two out of their lusting makeout session. Samui shot up and looked to the door just in time to see Yujito walk in. Yujito froze instantly, seeing the scene before her. Naruto, no shirt, pants unbuttoned, laying on the floor with a Samui who was only clad in her underwear. And from what it looked like, neither knew they were in such a state of undress. I'm sorry, Yujito said nervously. Yah. Samui screamed and grabbed the closest shirt and threw it on in an attempt to hide her body. Thankfully it was Naruto's shirt, so it easily covered to mid-thigh. Naruto on the other hand wasn't so lucky, but also didn't seem to care as much. He simply buttoned his pants, and the two stood. I didn't mean to just walk in, but nobody answered and I was knocking for like 5 minutes, Yujito said as she bit her lip, trying not to stare at Naruto's overly muscular chest. It's okay, Yujito-chan, I'm not mad at you, and I doubt Samui-chan is either, she's probably just embarrassed, Naruto said with a smile towards Samui, who was blushing heavily. Sorry, Samui, Yujito said with a sympathetic smile. It is fine, is something wrong? Samui asked. No, I just wanted to see Naruto, I forgot it was your date night, I'll leave, Yujito said, turning to leave. No, wait, our night is over and we certainly aren't going to get that heated again, how about we play a few games of cards, Naruto said, looking to Samui to make sure it was okay. When he saw her nod and smile, he knew he wasn't going to get in trouble. If Samui is okay with it, Yujito said, not wanting to intrude on her time. Naruto is right, let's play some cards, Samui said. How about you two get dressed first, Yujito said with a grin. Perv, Samui said, grabbing her clothes and moving towards the bathroom. How am I the perv? Yujito asked. Oh, come off it, you were staring at both of us, not just Naruto, Samui shouted from the bathroom. Oh, come on, so I like a good body no matter the gender, and you've got a sweet back door, Naruto agrees, Yujito shouted back. She has a point, Naruto added with a chuckle. God, you're both perverts, Samui shouted. That's what we like about each other, the both replied, all they got in response as an over-exaggerated ugh from the bathroom before Samui appeared fully dressed, holding Naruto's shirt. Put your shirt on, Samui tossed Naruto his shirt. With a grin, Naruto caught it and slipped it back on, to both girls' displeasure. Both were hoping he would have just tossed it away, but Samui didn't want to seem like a pervert by keeping the shirt. So what should we play first? Yujito asked. How about strip poker? Naruto said with a gleam in his eye. Both girls looked at each other for a moment, then grinned. Sounds fun, they both replied. Excellent, Naruto said as he grabbed out a deck of cards. 1 hour later. This isn't fair, Yujito growled. She was clad only in her panties and undershirt. She was greatly regretting not wearing a bra today. No, it isn't, Samui agreed. She was worse off in just in panties, having lost her bra and had to keep an arm up to cover her assets. Seems good to me, Naruto laughed. He was still fully clothed save for his shirt. I mean, heck, I only had 3 pieces of clothing on to star. Shirt, pants and boxers, Naruto added. Yeah, well, I only had my shirt, pants and underwear too, Samui said with a huff. I'm missing a bra today, so we're even, Yujito said with a blush. Naruto smiled as the knowledge of one more win over Yujito, and she would be tied with Samui again. You know, I think you're cheating, Samui said, looking at Naruto. I'm just lucky, Samui, that's all really, Naruto said with a smile. Remember his ridicule's winning streak when he and B had gone gambling a few years back. If you really want, we can quit and play something else, Naruto suggested. No. I won't give up and I will make you lose, Yujito growled. Naruto looked to see Samui was just as serious. With a grin, Naruto showed his hand and both girls dropped their heads. Samui tossed down her hand and paled when she lost to Yujito, meaning she had to strip off the last piece of clothing she had. Come on girl, you lost, Yujito said as she licked her lips. Naruto shrugged apologetically, knowing it would be wiser to remain silent. Samui on the other hand took a deep breath and stood up. She was a woman of her word and she had lost. Without a second's hesitation, she pulled off her panties and made Naruto's face turn red and a trickle of blood to run down from his nose. Whoa girl. I didn't think you landscaped that much, Yujito said, seeing only a thin strip of hair. Shut up, Samui said, dropping down to her knees to hide her virtue. Yujito giggled and turned back to Naruto, who was just regaining himself. Just you and me now, Yujito grinned. Yup, Naruto replied. Can I get dressed then? Samui asked. Nope, you have no clothes, remember, Yujito said, making Samui flush red. Yeah, well, you won't either in a minute, Samui snapped. No, I'm going to win, so Naruto will be buck-ass with you, not me, Yujito said confidently. You'd think so, Naruto said as Yujito dealt out the cards and the next hand started. Oh Samui, would you mind getting us a drink since you're out? Yujito asked sweetly. Samui growled lightly, knowing what Yujito really wanted. Fine, Samui said, standing and turning in one motion. Both players' eyes were immediately drawn to the blonde's retreating rear. Naruto flashed his foxy grin and Yujito licked her lips lightly, yup, defiantly, a sweet backdoor. When Samui returned, she had to hide a laugh seeing Yujito had lost her shirt and, from what Samui could see, was holding a dead-in-the-water kind of hand for what could be the last hand of the game. Here are your drinks, Samui said, handing both of them a drink. Thank you, Samui, Naruto said, taking the drink. Yujito took the drink and quickly downed it. Samui couldn't hide her laugh when the hand ended and Yujito had lost, so she was now right beside her on the great ship Nudity. Yujito did just as Samui had done. She stood and didn't hesitate a second to take off her panties. Naruto once again went red-faced and had a trail of blood while Samui actually gaped. You laughed at me, you don't have any hair, Samui said. Yup, I prefer the feeling of clean and clear landscape, Yujito joked. Naruto shook his head and rubbed his brow. So can we get dressed now? Samui asked. I don't know, I think we should gang up and strip Naruto. He got to see our goods, we might as well be able to see his, Yujito said with a sly grin. How about you just get dressed, Naruto said, handing the girls their clothes. Samui quickly put her underwear back on while Yujito rolled her eyes. Spoil sport, Yujito said before she dressed. Naruto couldn't remove the smile from his face if he wanted. He was doomed to be grinning like an idiot for the next few hours. Samui rolled her eyes and finished dressing before turning her attention back to Naruto. I'm going to guess you liked what you saw? Samui asked. How do I put this, fuck yeah? How could I not? Naruto said before he dropped down onto his couch. Yujito took his left side, nestling herself into his arms. Samui flushed red for a moment, then moved in and took his right side. So what should we do now? Naruto asked. I'm kinda beat, I think I'll rest my eyes, Yujito said, resting her head against his shoulder. If you'd like, Naruto said. He turned to ask Samui the same but saw she had drifted off as well. Morning came and Yujito opened her eyes slowly as the scent of food drifted into her nose. Groggily, she slowly sat up. She could see Naruto in the kitchen, but Samui was nowhere to be seen. Where's Samui? Yujito asked. Taking a shower, you can take one. When Naruto turned to see Yujito had vanished. And I used to think Jiraiya was a pervert. What the hell? Samui's voice screamed out from the bathroom. I thought I'd save some water and join you, Yujito's voice replied. God, you're worse than Naruto, ugh, Samui groaned. Naruto paused for a moment when he didn't hear anything and nobody came out of the bathroom. His face slowly turned red as he thought about the two actually showering together. With a shake of his head, he banished the thought so he wouldn't ruin breakfast. He didn't like wasting food. Roughly 10 minutes passed and Naruto was placing the plates out when the two girls both came out of the bathroom. Samui instantly looked at Naruto. Speak a word of this and I will have your balls, Samui growled. Well girl, you gotta take it one step at a time, Yujito laughed. You know what I meant, Samui spat before she sat down at the table with Naruto, whom only nodded. You have my word, and what happened between you two stays in that bathroom, Naruto said with a chuckle. Now let's eat. The girls nodded and breakfast began. A few days had passed and Naruto had given his genin the day off. It was Yujito's turn for a date, and she wanted to go out for dinner again. Naruto didn't mind in the slightest. He got to show Yujito off, and she got to show him off. Currently the two were walking hand in hand towards one of their favorite restaurants. Yujito moved closer to him, resting her head on his shoulder as they walked. She smiled softly as she felt Naruto kiss the top of her head. Once inside the restaurant, and their meal served, Yujito kept looking to Naruto. She wanted to tell him how she felt but couldn't think of the right time to do it. She was head over heels for him but was simply too embarrassed to tell him. You look like you want to say something, Naruto said, putting his chopsticks down. I do, I just don't know how, Yujito said. Her eyes snapped up when she felt Naruto's hand cover hers. Well, I have something I want to say to you, Naruto said as he moved around the table and sat next to her. What? Yujito asked. Yujito, I think I love you, Naruto said, making the woman's eyes widen and her mouth went dry. You do? She nearly squeaked. She had no control over her voice at the moment. She could only stare at Naruto in shock. Her mind snapped back after a moment. What about Samui? Yujito asked. Flashback. Yujito and Samui sat together, neither able to speak but both needed to say something to each other. Samui mustered her courage first and spoke. Yujito, I think I'm in love with Naruto. I know, Yujito said. I feel the same, I want him so bad it hurts, Yujito added. So what do we do? Samui asked. She didn't want to hurt Yujito, but she didn't want to be hurt either. I don't know, I guess it all falls on Naruto. If he chooses one of us, we need to be able to accept it might not be the one we want it to be, Yujito said, knowing she loved Naruto but she wasn't sure how he felt yet. I don't think I could handle being rejected, Samui said, grabbing her arms. I'm not usually like this, but I can't help it. It's Naruto, he just has that effect on people, us especially, Yujito said. What if he can't decide? Samui asked. I'll admit it. I would be okay sharing, whether it's okay or not is up to you, Yujito said with a flushed face. Samui gulped lightly, trying to think of what to say. Well, I guess if it's you I could give it a shot, Samui said with a red face. Yujito froze hearing this. After biting her lip for a moment, she grabbed Samui's hand and pulled her away. Come with me for a minute, Yujito said as the two moved through the village. Where are we going? Samui asked, confused. I have to see something, Yujito said before she pulled Samui into an alley and out of the sight of people. Samui's eyes widened when she saw Yujito's face. She froze when she found herself pinned to the wall, and Yujito inches from her face. She could feel her breathe on her lips and cheeks. Samui was stopped when Yujito dipped her head in and kissed Samui full on. Samui didn't know what to do. Yujito placed a hand on Samui's hip and the other snaked into her hair. Samui finally reacted, and to Yujito's response it was to deepen the kiss by mirroring her actions. One hand moved to her hip with the other ran over her neck and into her hair. The two broke away out of breath and red-faced. Did you feel that? Yujito asked. It was like I was kissing Naruto, Samui said. It was all she could compare it to. It felt the same, the way her body reacted was the same when she kissed Naruto. That's what I was thinking, you'd do the same to me, Yujito said. So what now? Samui asked. I don't know, Yujito said. Flashback end. Samui, well, I love her too, that's why I had to tell you, because we can't do this, I can't choose between you two and I don't want to hurt either of you, Naruto said solemnly. Have you told Samui? Yujito asked. No, I was going to tell her during our date tomorrow, Naruto said as he pulled back. No, you have to tell her now, Yujito said, standing and pulling Naruto out of the restaurant. She had acted so fast Naruto was barely able to throw the money of the meal down before she yanked him out. To say Naruto was confused was an understatement. He was beyond confused, he didn't quite know what to do. Yujito had pulled him basically by his collar to Samui's apartment, and now they were waiting for her to answer. The door opened and Samui looked at the two, confused. It was their date night. Why were they here? Is something wrong? Samui asked. Can we come in? Naruto has to tell you something, Yujito said before she pushed Naruto inside, not letting Samui actually answer. What's wrong? Samui asked. Well, it's that I think we need to break up, Naruto said, making Samui's face fall and her eyes started to water lightly. I can't choose between you two and I don't want to hurt you, Naruto said, unable to look at Samui. Samui's eyes dried instantly, and she looked to Yujito, who smiled and winked at her. Samui knew what Yujito was doing. And Yujito grinned when she saw a smile slide over Samui's face. Well, that's unacceptable, Samui said, placing her hands on her hips. Unacceptable? Naruto asked. Yeah, because I love you just like Yujito does, so if you broke up with us that would hurt us, Samui said. Then what should I do? Naruto asked, looking at both women for the answer. Easy, Yujito said. Kiss us, Samui said. Naruto's eyes widened and he looked to them both, seeing they were both smiling. Naruto grabbed Yujito first, since it was their date night after all, and pressed her body against himself, and their lips a moment later. Yujito's arms wrapped around his neck and their tongues started to dance together. Naruto's hand moved down, grabbing her ass, making her moan into their kiss. And to Yujito's disdain, their kiss ended all too fast, and Naruto had grabbed Samui and was kissing her just as passionately. Samui did the same as Yujito, and her arms moved around Naruto's neck. But unlike Yujito, Naruto's hand moved up rather than down. One hand snaked into her hair while the other stopped just under her bust. Their kiss ended as abruptly for Samui as it did for Yujito. Both girls looked to see Naruto standing looking at them both with a huge smile on his face. How can I be so lucky? Naruto asked as the two girls moved towards him. No idea, Samui looked at Yujito, who nodded. But we have something we want to do for you, Yujito said. More like to you, Samui added as they moved Naruto towards Samui's bedroom. You don't have to, Naruto said. No, but we want to, the two said in unison as they pushed Naruto into the bedroom. Naruto's back hit the bed as Yujito and Samui stood over him. Yujito licked her lips as she looked down at Naruto. Her hands moved to her sides, grabbing the hem of her shirt. Naruto looked to see Samui doing the same. It was in this moment he noticed was dead last in a race. As quickly as he could, Naruto dispatched his clothes. Yet he still came in last and found himself still in his underwear when the two now naked women descended upon him. Yujito ran her hand up his chest while Samui pressed her lips against his. Naruto moved his hand onto Samui's body, groping her as they kissed. His other hand interlocked with Yujito's. Naruto moaned into his kiss as Yujito started to rub him through his underwear. "You don't mind if I have a little fun first, do you, Samui-chan?" Yujito asked. "All yours for the moment," Samui replied as she and Naruto started to make out again. Yujito smiled and freed Naruto's member from its confines. She smiled and licked her lips, and she stared at his impressive member. Yujito gently wrapped a hand around Naruto's manhood and started to jerk him slowly, as well as she started to lick the tip of his manhood. She almost moaned as she tasted his cock. Her soft stroke and light licking quickly descended into a lustful. Her head started to bob as she worked over his shaft. She liked the taste of his rod and wanted more, a lot more. Samui and Naruto's make out, and in full force as their tongues battled for supremacy of the other's mouth. Naruto's hand found Samui's ass and proceeded to give her a good squeeze. Moaning into their kiss, Samui ran a hand around his chest. Her fingers danced through his light chest hair. Naruto growled lustfully as he felt Yujito's tongue working the underside of his manhood. Samui pulled back, looking down at Naruto before she licked her lips. "Damn, you are a good kisser." Naruto only grinned in response and pulled her down into another kiss. Yujito gave a moan onto Naruto's cock as she started to rub herself as she continued to bob her head. Naruto groaned as he felt himself nearing his first release. "Yujito-chan," Naruto tried to warn her, but she either didn't hear him or didn't care because she simply just kept sucking until he burst into her mouth. Naruto groaned lustfully as he emptied his load into Yujito's mouth. Samui pulled back to watch Yujito, who was now crawling up Naruto's body. Once she reached them, she grabbed Samui and pulled her into a searing kiss. Samui's eyes shot wide, feeling Yugdio's tongue pry open her mouth. Her eyes widened more when she found out why she was kissing her. Samui's eyes rolled back slightly as their tongues started to play together as Yujito shared her bounty from Naruto's seed. She wasn't expecting his cum to taste so good. But it did. The two pulled back for a moment, both panting, heaving from their kissing. "I so told you that you were bi," Yujito laughed. "Okay, you win, I'll pay up later, now I want that in me," Samui said as she eyed Naruto's still hard member. "All yours, I want to feel Naruto's tongue on my lips," Yujito said, giving Naruto a sultry look. With a foxy smile, Naruto beckoned Yujito to him. Yujito licked her lips as she crawled over Naruto. Naruto groaned as he felt Samui rubbing herself against him. Their eyes met as she slowly took his cock. She moaned lightly as inch after inch sunk into her. "Oh, it's so big," Samui moaned as she placed a hand on her stomach, feeling the fullness that Naruto gave her. "I know it is awesome, right?" Yujito laughed before she moved over Naruto, her legs on either side of his face. Yujito gave a gasp, feeling Naruto's tongue run over her womanhood. Both girls took only a moment to look at each other before they locked lips once again. Samui's hips started to bounce as she began to ride Naruto. Yujito, on the other hand, trembled as Naruto continued to tease her. Naruto moved his hands to Yujito's hips, holding her still as he plunged his tongue into her folds. Yujito moaned into her kiss with Samui. The girls continued to kiss as they rode Naruto. "Yujito, it's so good," Samui moaned as her hands rested on Naruto's chest while her hips started to bounce faster. She was quickly finding herself lost in her lust. This feeling of fullness was simply too good. "Samui, slow down, I can't," Naruto said with a groan. He could feel his limit approaching much faster than he'd like to admit. Samui simply ignored him and continued to bounce. "Naruto, don't stop," Yujito complained, getting Naruto to refocus on the fact that Yujito's womanhood was still right above his mouth. Yujito interlocked her fingers with Samui's as the two kissed again. Both girls moaned deeply as they reached their climax together on top of Naruto. Yujito dropped forward slightly, placing her hands on Naruto's chest to steady herself. Samui, on the other hand, rolled off to Naruto's side, panting heavily. "That was wonderful," Samui said. "Done already?" Yujito asked while she moved to ride Naruto herself. "I'm not like you, Jinchuriki, I can't go like crazy, I have to rest for a moment," Samui said, starting to watch Yujito bounce on Naruto. "My turn," Naruto grinned before he flipped his lover and pinned her under him. "Oh, taking charge, are we?" Yujito asked with a sly smile. "You'll love it," Naruto said as he started to pump into Yujito. Samui bit her lip lightly, seeing how hard Yujito was taking it, and that she was just begging for more. "Harder!" Yujito cried out as she groped Naruto's ass. With a grunt, Naruto obeyed and continued to slam into Yujito. A surprised moan echoed out from Yujito as she felt a pair of lips and a tongue on her breasts. "Not fair, Samui," Yujito moaned as the blonde continued to assault her breasts, while Naruto fucked her with everything he had. Not to be outdone, Yujito's hand found its way to Samui's womanhood. Samui moaned, feeling Yujito push 2 fingers into her. Naruto grinned, watching the 2 girls toy with each other. One hand moved to Yujito's free breast while the other joined Yujito's hand in toying with Samui's womanhood. Both girls moaned out loudly as Naruto's hands joined in. "Naruto," Yujito managed to moan out as she crashed through her second climax. Samui, on the other hand, just trembled, unable to speak as she reached her second climax. "Yujito, I'm going to come," Naruto groaned. Yujito's eyes shined for a moment, and her legs quickly wrapped around Naruto's waist. Her legs tightened, forcing Naruto to release into her. Naruto groaned as he emptied himself into Yujito. Yujito's eyes rolled back and groaned. Her hand moved to Naruto's and intertwined. Naruto leaned in, giving a kiss to both girls. Samui had passed out moments before due to the overload of pleasure. "I love you," Yujito said as she looked up at Naruto. "I know I heard you say it a few weeks ago," Naruto said with a smile. Yujito's eyes widened and her mouth dropped open a bit. "You knew all this time?" Yujito asked. "Yes, I couldn't reply because I was so torn between you and Samui," Naruto said with a downcasted look. He looked up as he felt Yujito's hand on his cheek. "Do you love me?" Yujito asked. Tilting his head into her hand, Naruto gave a contented sigh. "Yes, very much so," Naruto replied. "Then we are all good," Yujito said as she pulled Naruto down so he was in between her and Samui. Naruto smiled as Yujito curled up on his right and Samui was on his left. Resting his head back, he let the sweet embrace of sleep claim him. Her back slammed against the wall as his lips assaulted hers. Her hands tore off his shirt as his lips left hers and started to trail over her chin, neck and back to her lips. His hands drifted down to her ass, groping her roughly as she bit his lip and pulled back, gaining a groan from him. "Harder," she spoke as his hands tore at the fabric of her tight black shorts. The telltale rip of the shorts giving into his aggressive groping rang out through the otherwise silent room. Not to be outdone, her hands found his belt and rather effortlessly ripped it from his waist. Moving one hand to his pants, he freed his throbbing manhood. "Fuck me," she commanded, and he more than happily obeyed. With a deep feral groan, the two became one. "Fuck babe, you are tight," he groaned as his hips started to pump. Her lover raked her hands over his back as she felt him starting to slam into her more and more. "Kisame! Fuck me!" she commanded again. The blue-skinned man grinned devilishly and removed her from the wall and quickly found their way to the nearest table. "I will fuck your brains out, Sakura," Kisame growled as he slammed his pink-haired lover down onto the table and brought his thrusts to a new level. Kisame slammed into her folds, making her back arch and her moans to echo out. "Fuck! Harder, fucking pound me!" Sakura commanded. Part of her couldn't believe she loved it as rough as she did. But the ecstasy Kisame could fill her with was more than she could stand. The roughness left bruises on the both, but that only stood to make it all the hotter. "I love hearing you beg for my cock, you little slut," Kisame growled as he felt one of her legs hook around his waist while the other rested against his chest. "Ah, fuck! Yes, don't stop!" Sakura all but screamed out as she felt that euphoric bliss building with each rough and crazy thrust of her blue-skinned lover. "Say it. Tell me what you want," Kisame said as he leaned in, making her legs stretch to an almost uncomfortable degree. But once again that just served to make Sakura want more. "Fuck me with that fat blue cock. Fuck me into a sex coma!" Sakura screamed out. Kisame grinned and moved her leg to his hip so he could fully lean down and bring his teeth to her shoulder. As his razor-sharp fangs found her shoulder, Sakura let loose her loudest pleasure-filled scream yet. Her nails tore into the flesh of Kisame's back, making him moan into her shoulder as he bit her. "You're such a kinky little slut, aren't you?" Kisame laughed as he pulled back to pick up his pace once more. "Only for your cock, Kisaku-in," Sakura said, lusting smile. "Now fuck me harder and faster," she commanded to an all-too-willing Kisame. He grinned again, showing blood on his teeth from when he bit into her shoulder. "As you command, my slutty little whore," Kisame laughed as he grabbed her hips and began to fuck her with all his might. Suffice to say, Sakura reached her orgasmic high many times over as he slammed into her again and again. "Here it comes," Kisame growled as he felt himself nearing his limit. "At least for this load." "Yes. Fill me up," Sakura commanded, and just like all her other commands, Kisame was all too happy to obey her, and released his seed deep into her. Freeing himself from her somewhat abused, Kisame looked down at the bliss-filled Sakura, who was covered in a layer of sweat and blood. Kisame leaned in, licking the bit on her shoulder. Seeing her like this just made him want more. "I want more," Kisame said, making Sakura smile. "Good, because my ass is still waiting for its turn," Sakura said as she pushed him back and rolled over to display her perfect ass to him. Without a second thought, Kisame grabbed her hips once again and all but slammed himself into her ass. The mixture of his cum and her juice was more than enough lube for them. Both found an abundance of pleasure in pain. It was like they were made for each other. Sakura moaned deeply as she felt Kisame's meaty spear impale her ass. Her eyes rolled back and her tongue rolled out of her mouth as he started to slam into her ass. Her nails dug into the wood of the table, leaving deep gouges along it. "Fuck! Yes!" Sakura screamed loudly as Kisame's hands moved from her hips to her breasts, groping and tweaking her to a painful degree. And she loved every second of it. She wanted more and more. Nothing beat the feeling of Kisame fucking her brains out. "Fuck, your body is simply a grade," Kisame growled as he leaned over her, keeping his thrust going while he started to nibble at her neck and ears. Sakura was in heaven. The mixture of his punishing thickness and the tenderness of his nibbling was driving her crazy. "Kisame!" Sakura screamed as she reached another orgasm. She griped the edge of the desk so hard that the wood gave and shattered, causing the two to drop to the ground. Without missing a beat, Sakura landed on all fours and Kisame didn't stop fucking her. They had gone through more than one table in their time together, and they always got stronger wood to replace the old, but the outcome was always the same. A destroyed table and as blissful Sakura. Kisame gave another growl, letting Sakura know he was getting close once more. No! I want your cum in my. Fuck me pregnant, Sakura commanded. The notion of pregnancy drove Kisame over the edge with lust. The thought of her bearing him a child, willingly at that, was the biggest turn-on for him. Yes. Kisame roared as he removed himself from her rear and quickly buried himself in her once more. His thrust quickly built up again, and with a euphoric roar Kisame emptied himself into her, wanting again. The two stared at each other as they slowly came down from the highs. Kisame smiled as he panted heavily. I love you, Sakura said as she licked her lips. And I you, Kisame replied as he lifted Sakura up, and the two moved toward their bedroom. Before they left the room, they took the moment to look at the damage. How bad was it this time? 3 chairs, the table, 4 cabinets, the couch, the kitchen island, their coffee table, and 2 lamps. Not as bad as last time. With a smirk from both of them, they knew next time would probably force them to find a new apartment to live in. Water ran down their bodies as their lips meshed together. Fingers entangled themselves into each other's hair as their kiss deepened. A light yelp echoed out as one found the cool tile of the shower wall. Mei-chan, that's cold. A red-haired girl moaned lightly as her lover pinned her to the wall, having only stopped the kiss so they could breathe. You love it, Karen-chan, Mei replied before the two started to kiss again. Now keep yourself against the wall, or I won't finish what I start, Mei added as she started to kiss her way down Karen's body. She paid special attention to her neck and shoulders. For some reason, Mei just loved Karen's neck, so slender and sexy. Willing herself to continue down her lover's body rather than just remain kissing her neck, Mei ran her tongue in between Karen's impressive bust, following a trail of water as she did. Karen trembled from the fire burning within and the still cold tiles on her back. Her lover's tongue slowly moving around her chest wasn't helping the fire. Mei-chan, don't stop, Karen moaned, her eyes fluttering as she tried to keep her cool. She was failing miserably. Mei was just too much of a turn-on for the young redhead. Mei smiled as her tongue ran circles around the girl's breasts. Her hands had decided to venture down and behind, finding Karen's firm and prefect ass. You love this, don't you? Mei asked as she started to drift down once more. Karen moaned loudly as she nodded, unable to speak at the moment. Come on, say it, you know I love to hear you praise me, Mei said as she reached Karen's folds. Yes. Oh Kami, yes, I love this. Please Mei-chan, don't stop, Karen cried out in ecstasy. Mei smiled and moved in, her tongue running over Karen's entrance, making the girl moan out again. Karen's eyes rolled back as she trembled from Mei's tongue. Sweet as always, Mei said with a grin before she flicked her tongue over Karen's clit. Karen gasped loudly as her lover continued to toy with her clit. Mei moved a hand up Karen's body, finding her one of her breasts. Karen moaned out as she felt Mei's tongue push into her core. Mei kept her eyes on Karen's face as she continued her licking. She loved to see the faces Karen would make each time her tongue or fingers would find the right spots. Speaking of fingers, Mei ran her free hand up Karen's leg, aiming for her wanting womanhood. Mei-chan! Karen cried out as 2 of Mei's fingers slid into and quickly started to scissor in her. Mei smiled as she saw her lover's face trapped in the throes of passion. The ecstasy written across her visage was simply priceless. I love seeing your face when I do this, Mei said before she flicked her tongue over Karen's clit once again. Mei! Karen cried out as she hit her first climax. Karen started sliding down the wall as she came down from her high. Mei smiled and moved up to catch her. You always lose all the strength in your legs when I do that, Mei said with a smile as she turned off the water. What can I say? You are damn good at it, Karen replied as they shared another kiss. How about we dry off and finish this in our bed, Mei suggested. Sounds like a plan to me, Karen replied as Mei took a towel and started to dry off Karen. The aforementioned redhead groaned lightly as she felt Mei's towel-covered hands run over her body. It only took a few moments to dry off, but Mei was enjoying her fondling and continued. Mei-chan, stop teasing, Karen whimpered. Mei nodded and the two changed places. And where Mei took her time, Karen got her dried off as fast as possible before ushering her out of the bathroom. Their bodies collapsed onto the bed with Mei over Karen. Her freakishly long auburn hair cascaded down her back and off her sides. It was Karen's second favorite feature of Mei. The first was her oh-so-sexy lips. Mei ran a hand up Karen's side, feeling her soft skin. A shiver ran up Karen's back and goosebumps formed under Mei's hand. Mei smiled and leaned down, pressing their lips together once more. Their tongues started to wrestle playfully as their kiss deepened. Karen moved her hands up and around Mei's neck, pulling her body closer. Mei's hands decided to be more perverted and moved down between Karen's legs. Karen moaned into their kiss and Mei slid 2 fingers into her. Karen's back arched and her hips rolled, trying to get Mei's fingers deeper. You want more? Mei asked. Yes, Mei begged, released her arms from Mei's neck. Mei smiled and moved to their bedside. Opening a drawer, she gave another smile. Which one tonight? Mei asked. The red one, Karen said as her legs rubbed together. Mei nodded and pulled out a sleek red strap-on dildo roughly 9 inches long and an inch thick. Strapping it on, May gave the falsehood a few strokes before activating a seal that would give her the pleasure that a man would feel. Manfu and Justa could do anything, it seemed. Moving towards her red-haired lover, May saw she had quickly opened her legs. May smiled and shook her head. Moving between her lover's legs, she rubbed the red falsehood over Karen's entrance a few times. Her reward was a shiver of anticipation for both of them before she started to push in. Karen's head flew back and a loud long moan echoed out of her as May sunk their favorite falsehood into her. May groaned as the seal transferred the pleasure to her. Placing her hands on either side of Karen's side, May began to roll her hips. Karen moaned again as she felt the falsehood moving in and out of her. May leaned down, placing light kisses along her lover's neck as she picked up her pace, knowing exactly how Karen liked it. "I love hearing your moans, Kari-chan," May said as she continued to kiss at her neck. Karen's only response was to moan deeply again. Her hands returned to May's body, running down her sides to find her luscious ass. May gave a pleased moan as she felt Karen's hands kneading her ass. More, Karen moaned as she slapped her hand over May's ass. With a yelp and a chuckle, May continued to pump her falsehood into Karen. "I'm going to love you straight into bliss," May said as she picked up her pace just slightly. Karen's back arched again as closed her eyes, focusing on the pleasure. Karen yelped lightly as May gave one of her a light bite. "No closing your eyes, watch me take you," May said as their eyes met. Karen bit her lip as she neared her climax again. May moaned as she neared her own climax. Neither one was going to last much longer, and they didn't. With a few final thrusts, both cried out their lovers' names and crashed through their climaxes. May rolled off to Karen's side, panting heavily. Karen curled up at her side with a happy smile on her face. Smiling herself, May pulled their cover over them and drifted off to sleep. Not even bothering to remove the toy, it would just be used again in the morning. It had been a few weeks since his epic night with his girlfriends, and Naruto stood with his genin team in an old abandoned town. "Why are we here, Naruto-sensei?" Masami asked. "Our mission is to level this town so it can become farmland," Naruto replied. "Why doesn't anyone live here?" Kensei asked. "This village was wiped out during the Third Shinobi War. It wasn't a regular village. It was one that had no civilians. Everyone was either a shinobi or a samurai," Naruto explained. "So who wiped them out?" Zane asked. "My father actually did it. The yellow flash of Konoha was sent to wipe this village out. I guess this brings it full circle that his son is sent to level the buildings," Naruto said as he looked at his genin. "So how are we supposed to destroy this place?" Masami asked. "However you like. The Raikage just wants the place gone. Do go nuts. Use whatever you like," Naruto said. "Best mission ever," Kensei said as he shot towards a building. "Mountain King's Fist," Zane called out as he moved towards a house and proceeded to tear through the wood and stone like butter. Naruto blinked in surprise. So that was his own special taijutsu style. It was rather impressive. "Futon de Tapa," Kensei shouted as he launched a powerful burst of wind that knocked over several houses. "I'm so trying out my sword," Masami said as she pulled out a blue-handled sword. Naruto smiled as he sat back and watched his genin destroy the town. He was proud of them. Maybe he would enter then in the Chunin exams. It had been 3 months since Team Uzumaki had taken on C-ranked missions, and Naruto truly believed they were ready for the Chunin exams. He had trained them in water walking, tree climbing, nature affinities, shunshin, and so much more. Now it was time to see if they were ready. Naruto sat looking at his genin. Kensei was clad in his usual more formal dress. How he was able to fight so well in them Naruto still didn't fully understand, but oh well, to each their own. Masami had changed slightly. She had replaced her shorts with pants of the same color, and that was it. Zane, like Kensei, hadn't changed. "So what's our mission today, sensei?" Kensei asked. "None, it's time I give you 3 of these," Naruto said, handing each a slip of paper. They each paused as they read over the paper. "You're putting us in the Chunin exam?" Kensei asked, and Naruto simply nodded. "I'm in," Masami said with a happy smile. "As am I," Zane said. Kensei on the other had sat thinking it over. Naruto was just about to speak when he signed it and handed it back to Naruto. "Let's kick it," Kensei said with a smile. "Good, then we start training," Naruto said as he stood. Sat behind his desk reading over his reports for who would be going to the Chunin exams this year. It looked like about only 10 teams this year. He then saw why. Naruto's team was in there, that boy training his team a little too well. They were more than ready for the Chunin exams. "Mabui, is it Suna or Konoha's turn to host the exams?" A asked. "Konoha. Suna hosted the last one. We had 3 promotions last time," Mabui replied. "Well then, send these to Konoha," A said as he handed her the list of competitors. Mabui nodded and left. I wasn't sure if it was a good idea to send Naruto to Konoha, but if he wanted his students to try and become genin, he would have to suffer. 1 week later, Naruto and his team sped down a road at high speeds. A foxy smile plastered across Naruto's face as he saw the gates of Konoha coming up fast. Signaling to his genin, the force slowed as they reached the gates. Naruto was surprised to see the 2 usual gate guards weren't there. They had to be rather new since they didn't recognize him. "Sensei, can we get some food?" Masami asked. Naruto nodded then smiled. "Pick a place and let's grab some grub," Naruto said. "I want ramen," Masami said, throwing her fists into the air. Both Zane and Kensei simply rolled their eyes. The girl was a little obsessed with ramen. Naruto grinned brightly, knowing just the place. Hey old man, you still here? Naruto called out as he led his team in Ichiraku ramen. Naruto? Naruto! Good Kami, look at how you've grown. Tucci said as he watched the three kids sit down next to Naruto. Naruto! A voice called out, getting another smile from Naruto. I am Nasan, Naruto said as a woman appeared from the back and quickly hugged Naruto. I've missed you so much, Naruto. Ayam was almost in tears with how happy she was to see Naruto. Naruto returned the hug, and after a few moments the two parted and Ayam quickly smacked him. Can't you visit once in a while? Not really, I have a team to lead, Naruto said, pointing to his genin. You're a teacher? I'm so sorry, you three, Ayam said, making the genin burst out in laughter. Oh, that hurt more than the slap, Naruto said in mock pain. Okay, that's enough, what will it be? Tucci asked. Veggie lovers ramen please, Kensei said after a quick scan of the menu. Shrimp ramen with extra shrimp, Zane said. Oh, what's the Naruto special? Masami asked. That's our all-you-can-eat ramen special. We changed up each bowl and keep it coming till you can't eat anymore. I'll have that, both Masami and Naruto said with smiles. You sure she's your student and not your daughter? Tucci laughed. Naruto just grinned and shook his head. Once they had eaten their fill, the four headed towards the Hokage's tower to get their assigned residence. Naruto seemed to be happy that most people didn't recognize him. Reaching the Hokage's tower, Naruto noticed Tsunade was standing out front talking to several people. Tsunade stopped mid-sentence, seeing Naruto walking up with three kids in front of him. Quickly dismissing the group, she turned her attention to Naruto. Been a while, Naruto, Tsunade said with a soft smile. Yeah, a few years, Naruto said with his foxy smile. I see you're a sensei now, Tsunade said, looking at the three. Yup, well, introduce yourselves. It's not every day you get to meet another village's Kage, Naruto said. I'm not the Hokage anymore, Naruto, Tsunade said, getting Naruto to snap his head to her. Who is then? Naruto asked quickly. Your old sensei, Tsunade replied while pointing up. How did I not notice that? Naruto said, seeing the partially completed face of Kakashi on the monument. If you are here to get your rooms, I can help with that, Tsunade said. Naruto said nothing and snapped his fingers. Oh right. A pleasure to meet you. I am Masami Nishoku, Masami said with a bright smile and a bow. Kensei Haikage at your service, former Hokage-sama, Kensei said with a bow as well. And I am Zane. It is an honor to meet someone of your stature, Senju-sama, Zane said politely. These are so not your students, Tsunade said with a blank look. You're as bad as I am, Nasan, Naruto said with a grin. Naruto? Naruto turned to see his former teammate, Sasuke Uchiha, coming out of the Hokage's tower. He was now clad in basic jonin attire, but he had added the Uchiha fan over his heart. Been a long time, Sasuke, Naruto said as he took a paper from Tsunade. Yeah, a while, Sasuke replied. I'll catch you later. I gotta get my team to their assigned residence, Naruto said as the four left. Was that really Naruto? He seemed so much more mature, Sasuke said as he looked at Tsunade. I know if it wasn't for the whisker marks I would have sworn it was someone else, Tsunade said. A few days had passed and Naruto's genin were in the exams. Now he just needed to decide what he wanted to do. He had plenty of time to kill. He had visited Ayam and Tucci every single day thus far. A smile came to his face as he heard a knock at his door. Come in, Naruto said, knowing who it was. It rocked, being a censor. The door opened, and in walked his old team. Kakashi-sensei, Sasuke Uchiha and Sakura Haruno, and that last person made Naruto's eyes shoot wide open and his jaw dropped. Sakura was very pregnant. Sakura, Naruto didn't even know what to say at this point. Yeah, I'm going to be a mom, Sakura said as she rubbed her baby bump. Naruto placed a hand over his mouth trying to figure out what he should say. Oh well, congratulations of course, Naruto said standing. Thank you, Naruto, Sakura said with a soft smile. So how've you two been? Naruto asked. The usual, Kakashi replied with a nice smile. Just about the same, Sasuke replied. What about you, Naruto? Sakura asked. Well, I'm actually in the same boat as you, Sakura, Naruto said, causing his old team to go quiet. I'm sorry, what? Sakura asked. Oh, I'm going to be a dad. My girlfriends are pregnant, Naruto said. Girlfriends? Kakashi asked. Yes, Samui and Yujito, Naruto replied with a smile. To be honest, he was worried about Yujito's pregnancy since she was a Jinchuriki like himself. Wow, Naruto, just wow, Sakura said with a shake of her head. What can I say? Naruto said with a foxy smile. How about we just move to a different topic? Sasuke asked. Sure, you guys have teams in this year? Naruto asked. I'm not a sensei, more like a tutor, Sasuke said. I have a new team, yes, Kakashi answered. No team, Sakura said. Naruto nodded, then looked at Sakura again. So Naruto said with a pause. Kisame, Sakura said, causing Naruto's jaw to hit the floor. That was literally the last person he thought it would have been. Well, I so lunch? Naruto said, unable to think of anything. Sounds good, the group said. At a kimchi buffet, Naruto, Sasuke, Kakashi, and Sakura sat at a booth eating and talking. They had a lot to catch up on. Mainly the fact that Naruto was going to be a father of 5. Samui was pregnant with triples while Yujito was having twins. So have you thought of names? Sakura asked. Well, Yujito wants to use Kushina, my mom's name, since she really likes the sound of it. While Samui likes Jin, Rika, and Yun. I'm still a little iffy with the names, but we'll figure it out, Naruto explained. So is that why they are home, because they are pregnant? Sakura asked. No, they both took less stressful jobs until they are put on maternity leave. So they are actually working instead of going on missions. But they'll be here for the third exam, Naruto explained. Well, I can't wait to meet them, Sakura said. Speaking of meeting, Naruto said. Yes, Kisame lives here. But he's on a mission at the moment. He should be back in a few days, Sakura said. Naruto nodded and flipped some of the meat he was cooking. So Sasuke, anyone special in your life? Naruto asked. Yeah, her name is Sarah. She a civilian and works in the Hokage's tower, Sasuke answered. Cool, I hope I can meet her before I have to leave. Also, Sensei, can you be away for this long? Naruto asked. Tsunade's covering for me. I asked her to so I could catch up with my old team, Kakashi said. Cool, Naruto said. So Naruto, what's your team like? Sakura asked. Well, Masami is a firecracker of a girl, Kensei is like a mini Jiraiya, and Zane is a mix of Shikamaru and me, Naruto said, getting a sweat drop from his old team. That sounded like a team doomed to fail. Sensei! We passed! A voice screamed out. Naruto quickly jumped out of the booth and faced his team. Well done! When does the next part of the exam start? Naruto asked. 3 hours at Training Ground 44, Masami replied with a bright foxy smile. The old Team 7 all wondered the same thing. Sure, she isn't Naruto's. Zane, what's up? Naruto asked, seeing Zane was a little more quiet than normal. The proctor for the next exam was really hot. I think she broke Zane, Kensei laughed. No self-respecting woman should dress like that, Zane finally spoke. Ah, Anko, Naruto said with a chuckle. The genin looked up at their sensei as he laughed. You know her? Masami asked. Yes, she was the proctor for my exam too, Naruto replied. What was your exam? Zane asked. A survival test which I know you'll excel in, Naruto said as his genin smiled. Sensei, do you really have that much faith in us? Kensei asked. Without a doubt, I know all three of you are already Chunin level, Naruto said. I wouldn't have put you forward if I didn't have complete faith in you, Naruto said. Thanks, Sensei, the three spoke together. Now get out of here and rest for a while, Naruto said with his bright smile. The genin all smiled and took off. Wow, I really didn't think he had it in him, but Naruto's a heck of a sensei, Sakura said, getting agreeing nods from the others. Naruto turned back to his old team and smiled. I hate to say it, but I should go and make sure my genin are all set, Naruto said. The rest of the old Team 7 simply nodded and let him leave. The second exam. Naruto walked alongside his genin as they moved towards the Forest of Death. Last time everyone was led there by Anko. This year the senseis had to bring their genin to the forest themselves. Naruto smiled as he looked back at his genin. They seemed hyped and ready for anything. And truth be told, he knew they'd decimate this test as long as someone like Orochimaru didn't attack like in his. Sensei, how much further is it? Masami asked. Just ahead, you can already see the tower from here, Naruto said as the genin looked and saw a large tower in the distance. A long time no see, a voice spoke as someone suddenly landed on Naruto. Naruto grinned and managed to stay on his feet. It has been a long time. How have you been, Anko-san? Naruto asked as he looked at the purple-haired woman that was currently on his back. I've been good. But from what I hear, you've been busy, Anko laughed as Naruto rolled his eyes. Of course, word of his future children would spread like fire. You could say that being a sensei takes up a good amount of time. But it's worth it to see these kids excel, Naruto said, teasing Anko. Oh, that's not even close to what I meant, and you know it. Mr. Father of Five, Anko said with a coy smile. Of course that's what you want to talk about, Naruto said as the five now started to walk again. Hell yeah, I want to talk about that, Anko said. So were you guys trying, or was it a surprise? Anko asked. Surprise, one heck of a surprise, Naruto replied. Anko simply laughed again. Well, I got an exam to lead, so later, Anko said as she vanished in a swirl of mist. Naruto looked back to his genin and motioned for them to follow him. They needed to get to the second exam. Naruto had to hold back a laugh as his genin stared in awe of the Forest of Death. They seemed to be both shocked and excited for their exam. They were going to show off a lot in there. Here it is, have fun, my little genin, Naruto said with a smile. We won't let you down, sensei. Kensei and Masami shouted together. I'm sure you won't, Naruto replied as his genin ran off towards where the rest of the possible Chunin were waiting. Naruto sat within the Tower of Death, his feet up on a table as he sat reading his favorite book, the very book that gave him his name. He glanced up to see the time. The second exam had been going on for just about 7 hours now. He was actually surprised that no teams had shown up yet. His surprise was short-lived as 3 Chunin walked in talking about the team that showed up. Yeah, it was a group from Kumo, the first Chunin said. Really, I'm surprised a Konoha group didn't show up first, the second Chunin said. I know, right? But there is something odd about these kids, they seem way stronger than needed for the exam, the first Chunin said. Oh, that's probably my team, Naruto said as he closed his book and made his way towards the first floor to see if it was in fact his team. Reaching the waiting room, he heard arguing voice and knew it was his team. Seriously, who in their right mind made this place? Kensei's voice echoed out. Hey, we made it through fine, so what's the big deal? Masami's voice asked. Big deal? Big deal, did you see the side of those leeches? That's freaking crazy, Kensei shot back. If you think the leeches are big, you should see the tigers, Naruto said as he opened the door to see his genin all sitting. Sensei, the 3 called out. Naruto smiled seeing his students all standing before him with bright eyes. He couldn't be more proud of his team. I am very proud of you all. You're the first team here and everything, Naruto said with pride. Now let's go rest, you've got a few days until this exam ends, Naruto added. The three genin all smiled and followed their sensei. Preliminaries, only going to focus on Naruto's genin. Naruto was surprised to see roughly the same amount of teams pass this time like they had his time. And thus so far most of the preliminaries had been rather boring. A few Konoha shinobi had won and a single Suna shinobi. But now it was going to get interesting. Kensei was the first of Naruto's students to get his name displayed. The well-dressed boy faced off with a member of the Hyuga clan. This would be fun depending on how strong the Hyuga was. Kensei Haikage of Kyumogakure and Rin Hyuga of Konohagakure, you may begin, Rock Lee spoke. The two remained motionless, both waiting for the other to move first. I should tell you, just give up. You can't win, the Hyuga boy spoke. I don't know the meaning of the phrase, Kensei said as he spun once and a burst of smoke went off. Byakugan, Ren spoke as his eyes changed, and he saw Kensei within the smoke. The smoke cleared and Kensei was still standing there, but now he held a bow staff. You think a weapon will save you? Ren asked. Kensei grinned as he spun his bow staff. I am Kensei Haikage, student of the Crimson Shinobi, and next Raikage. Kensei shouted, getting a chuckle from Naruto and his genin. They all were slightly surprised when Kensei had suddenly wanted to be Raikage. None of them were privy to the reason yet. TCH, well, you'll never become a Kage if you can't beat me, Rin said as he shot forward. Sensei, when did Kensei get a bow staff? Masami asked. About a week before the exams. He said he liked the reach of my Shinikaba. But his style wouldn't work with a bladed weapon. So I got him that and he's a natural, Naruto explained. Interesting, Zane said simply. Naruto smiled and turned his attention back to the match. You are within range of my divination, Rin said, a smirk coming to his face. He hesitated only for a moment, seeing not fear on Kensei's face but a wicked grin instead. Rin started before both of his hands were smashed, and he was thrown backwards. Kensei's grin was still present on his face, and he spun his bow staff. Sorry, I'm faster than you, Kensei said as lightning sparked from his bow staff. How did you do that? Ren asked, and he stood his hand completely numb. He had been faster than the boy, but then he somehow just picked up speed. It's the lightning release. Lightning burst jutsu, Kensei said, still smiling. I won't lose to a Kumo bastard, Rin growled. Got some hate against Kumo, eh? Well, too bad, this win is mine, Kensei said as lightning chakra started to spin around his bow staff. Lightning release. Rolling thunder, Kensei called out as he charged forward. Rin tried to backpedal, trying to get away, but he couldn't move fast enough. The bow staff slammed into his shoulder before he could bring his still numb hands up to defend. With a deafening scream, Rin collapsed to the ground as his body trembled from the hit. Kensei spun his bow once more and placed it at Ren's throat, a grin coming to his face as he looked to Rock Lee, expecting him to end the match. Winner, Kensei Haikage of Kyumogakure. That was a truly youthful fight, Rock Lee declared. Kensei looked up to his team and sensei to see them applauding his victory. Once Kensei was back up with his fellow teammates, the questions began. Why didn't you tell us you got a bow staff? Masami asked. I wanted it to be a surprise, Kensei replied. Also, I'm not super great with it yet, so I didn't want to include it and make a mistake with it, Kensei explained. So when are you going to tell us why and when you decided to become Raikage? Zane asked. Not here, that's for sure. When we get home I will, Kensei said. Enough talk, luck's on your side, Zane, Naruto said, pointing to the screen where his name was displayed. You got this, man, Kensei said. I know, Zane replied with a smirk. Naruto leaned in, whispering into Zane's ear for a moment, getting a nod from the boy before he went down to face the IWA shinobi whose name had come up as well. Sensei, what did you tell him? Masami asked. Just wait and see, Naruto replied, a smirk downing his face just like Zane's. Down in the ring, Zane faced off with a tall young man called Higu. The guy was rather imposing. Probably about 6'2" and all muscle and a pissed-off look to boot. Zane cracked his neck and ready for his fight. The fight between Higu of Iwagakure and Zane of Kyumogakure begins now, Rock Lee called out, and the two shot at each other. Earth release, crumbling rock, Higu shouted. The ground replied and quickly started to shatter and break. Earth release, rock sped, Zane replied, and the ground under him flattened out instantly. So we both have Doton, Higu said as he stood and glared at Kensei. So it seems, Zane said as the two quickly started to flow through hand signs. Earth release, impaling spikes, Higu shouted loudly. As implied, the ground under Zane shot out, trying to skewer the boy as the attack went off. Dust and rock was sent in every direction. Higu started to laugh as he knew the boy was dead. Who killed one? Higu laughed. His laughter died on his lips as he heard laughing from within the cloud. Sorry, but Sensei's attacks hurt more, Zane spoke as the boy stepped out of the dust cloud clad in rock armor. What is this? Higu roared. My own jutsu, earth release, Golem's armor, Zane said before he charged Higu and smashed his fist into the shocked man's jaw. And with that the match was over. Winner, Zane of Kyumogakure, Rock Lee spoke. With a nod, Zane left to join his teammates once more. Naruto smiled as most of the genin and senseis in the room looked at him, seeing as both of his genin thus far hadn't just won, they had won soundly. Neither of the boys had built much of a sweat in their fights. Only a few fights remained at this point. And surprisingly, most of the Jonin wanted to see what the girl on Naruto's team could do. Sadly, they had to until the very last, which annoyed young Masami to no end. She was rather impatient. So when her name finally hit, she was in the ring in a flash. "Let's do this," Masami said with a grin. "Nope." Everyone's eyes shot up to a young black-haired boy whose sensei was now berating him. "What do you mean nope?" the boy's sensei asked. "I mean no, if she's even half as strong as her teammate I'll lose. I'd rather save the pain and just drop out. The other two both lost, so we can just try next time," the boy said with a deadpan explanation. "You're a Nara, aren't you?" Naruto's voice asked out. "Yeah, and I forfeit. Quit whichever you need to use, I'm not fighting." "No offense to you, Masami," the Nara boy said as he crossed his arms. "Bullshit." Masami almost cried she didn't get to show off at all. Rock Lee stepped forward looking at the pouting girl. "Masami wins via forfeit." "With that, these preliminaries are complete," Rock Lee said as he stepped away, and Kakashi, who was clad in his Hokage robes, stepped forward as the winners all moved into the ring with their senseis behind them. "Congratulations on winning your match. You will be given 1 month to train and ready yourselves for the finals. Train hard and be ready to show off. Now we will draw lots to see who fights who," Kakashi said as Rock Lee reappeared with a box. "Since you won without a match, Masami, you may pick first," Kakashi said, looking at the still pouting girl. The girl smiled lightly, then moved and grabbed her number. A big grin slid over her face as she saw the number. "Ooh, I'm number 1," Masami said with a cheer, getting to be the first match. After her open celebration, the other kids all moved and picked their numbers. "These are the matches. Remember the order and train hard," Kakashi said. Naruto looked, his eyes only focusing on his team. Match 1, Masami Nishoka vs Hanabi Hyuga. Match 4, Kensei Hikage vs Shure. Match 6, Ori Keiken vs Sane. Naruto looked to see his genin looking at their competition. The only one he was worried about was Masami and Kensei. Ori had won, but only just, while Shure had, like his team, decimated his opponent. Then there was young Hanabi. She was not going to be easy. From what he had heard, she was essentially a young female Niji. "Let's go," Naruto said. His genin all nodded, and the four left the tower and headed back to the village. None of them were worried about the forest this time. After all, who would try and pick a fight with the Crimson Shinobi in a place that he knew? Apparently the answer was a strange plant man. Naruto had reacted just in time to dodge a swing from a strange half-white and half-black man. "Leave," Naruto said with a serious tone. His genin didn't hesitate before they each used the scroll they had on them and vanished via reverse summoning. "Zetsu, yes?" Naruto asked, seeing the plant man. "Yes, and you will be killed here," the two-toned voice of Zetsu replied. Naruto paused, then turned his head. "You can come out too," Naruto said. After a moment, the masked man known as Tobi stepped out from behind a tree. "2 on 1, this will be fun," Naruto said as he cracked a seal on a scroll, and he was overtaken by a plume of smoke. Neither moved as they knew what he was doing. The smoke cleared and Naruto stood clad in his armor infused with the fox's chakra and the Shinikaba in his hand. "You are impressive, I will admit, but you can't beat us both," Tobi said with a sneer. "Just you wait and see," Naruto replied. And the fight began. Naruto was slightly confused at first though. Only Tobi attacked. Zetsu simply stood back waiting. He would have to deal with it when it happened. Sickle and fan clashed against Naginata. Naruto was disappointed to see that his weapon didn't simply cut through the fan. He would just have to work harder. His body started to move faster and faster, causing Tobi to have trouble keeping up even with his eye. His only saving fact was he could become intangible. "This is ridiculous," Tobi thought as his eye power was forced into use again to save himself from yet another fatal hit. With a glance to Zetsu, the fight changed. Naruto was put on the defensive as the two started to fight together. "You will lose," Tobi said as he brought the sickle down, trying to cleave off Naruto's arm. "Wind release. Repulse," Naruto shouted as a blast of wind went off, throwing both of them back. The small reprieve ended up being fatal for Zetsu. Tobi watched in shock as Naruto simply vanished in a burst of speed so fast his Sharingan completely missed it. His mouth fell open when he heard a scream, and he turned to see Zetsu pinned to a tree with Naruto's Shinikaba impaled through his chest. His scream died an instant later as Naruto lashed out with a katana from the ceiling pattern on his side of his armor and removed the two-toned man's head. Tobi glared as he saw his best henchman die. Naruto pulled his weapons back and landed facing Tobi once more. Putting the katana on his hip, he ready to fight with his Naginata once again. Tobi clenched his fist as he glared at the young man. His plan was gone. Akatsuki was gone. This wasn't about bringing him in. This was about killing him. Everything he had been planning was ruined because on this brat helping out the other Jinchuriki. Tobi grabbed his mask and threw it off and gripped his weapons, readying to fight once more. "Ah, so I see your face now, eh?" Naruto asked as he looked at the slightly scared face of Tobi. "I am Obito Uchiha and I will kill you," Obito said with a growl. "I am Naruto Uzumaki and you will be the one to die," Naruto said as the two charged at each other. Obito growled. That damned helmet had to come off. If he could proper eye contact, he could put Naruto under a genjutsu and simply kill him. But that helmet was somehow blocking him from casting a proper Sharingan genjutsu on him. Obito and Naruto continued their fight with the clear advantage going to Naruto. Each passing strike was damaging the fan and sickle more and more. Time to end this, Naruto said as he jumped back and switched his weapons. Obito took a moment to breath then charged in. Naruto didn't move. His stance changed, and his mind cleared. The moment Obito was in range, Naruto moved. Uzumaki Futon Kenjutsu, Screaming Wind, Naruto said. It was too fast. Obito could do nothing. He hadn't been thinking straight. He couldn't use his eye anymore. The moment their weapons met, the wind chakra on the sword exploded out, destroying the fan, the sickle, and Obito. The wind scared across the land, tearing everything in its path to shreds. Obshio hit the ground, his body in shreds, and he was dying fast. His eyes moved slowly, finding Naruto. Curse you, he spat slowly. Yeah, whatever your head is mine, Naruto said just before he cut off the man's head. This will interest Sasuke and Kakashi, Naruto said as he sealed away the head and the broken remains of Obito's weapons. Katan, Gaikaku Enjo no Jutsu, Naruto said, lighting up Obito's and Zetsu's bodies. With that, everything was done. Akatsuki was gone, hopefully for good. Hokage's office. Then I cut off his head and sealed it in this scroll, Naruto said as he finished explaining the fight in the forest to Kakashi, who seemed shocked. He had to wait a while to finish after he had said it was Obito. Kakashi took a slow breath and nodded. Please leave the scroll, then you can leave, Kakashi said. Naruto nodded and placed the scroll on the desk. Hokage-sama. Naruto bowed and left. Once out of the tower, Naruto quickly made his way to find his genin. He knew they'd be worried about him. He reached the hotel room in a few minutes and saw his genin all sitting and reading. Good to see you guys still study rather than worry about me and do nothing, Naruto said as he stepped into the room. Sensei. All three jumped up and ran to their sensei. Masami and Kensei both tackled Naruto into a hug, while Zane simply smiled seeing his sensei was okay. Okay, that's enough, we need to go over your training regiments for the month, Naruto said, getting his genin to snap to training mode, and all three stood ready to learn. First off, Zane, we are going to continue working on that, Naruto said, getting a smile from the boy. Kensei, you said you had something you wanted to show me? After that we'll work on your futon as it could use some work, Naruto said, getting a big grin from the second boy. And Masami, can you teach me how to summon? Masami quickly asked. If that is what you want, Naruto said. In truth, Masami needed the least work since other than her teammate nobody in the exams knew her skills. But for now, get some rest, we start tomorrow, Naruto added. With that they all moved to change and sleep. Summon training. Naruto stood in front of his genin. All three decided that they wanted to learn the summoning jutsu. Okay, I've shown you the hand signs. So know before you use this jutsu, know this, you will be taken to the home of the summons you are most affiliated with. So be on your best behavior, Naruto said. With a nod from his genin, the three each used the summoning jutsu and vanished. Kensei looked around, seeing he was somewhere odd. The place looked old but well kept. He couldn't see any animals of any kind. He continued to look around, trying to see if he could find something telling him what his summon was. Hello? Kensei called out, hoping to get something's attention. He was rewarded when a furry hand came into view. His jaw dropped like a rock when he saw a monkey step out of one of the houses. Monkeys, his summon was monkeys. Could he really be that lucky? Who are you, boy? The monkey asked. Kensei Haikage of Kumogakure, my sensei had just taught me the summoning jutsu. It brought me here, Kensei said, trying to sound and act and polite as possible. Kumoa, that could be a problem, you're gonna have to talk to the boss, the monkey said as he hopped down and stood in front of the boy. I understand, Kensei said, knowing that the monkeys were seen as allied to Konoha since the legendary third Hokage held the monkey summon. Follow me, the monkey said, leading the boy through the village. The two walked for a short time before they reached a large house where a very large monkey sat in front of, smoking a pipe and reading from a scroll. Kensei had to hold back laughing. It was funny to see him holding the scroll with his feet. What's this Kumo boy doing here, Ziki? Enma asked. He used the summoning jutsu, Ziki replied. And came here? Okay, color me interested, Enma said, putting the scroll down and looking at the boy. He rubbed his chin for a moment, looking over the well-dressed boy. Well, tell us about yourself, Enma said. Oh right, sorry. My name is Kensei Haikage and I am from a small clan. I am 13. I'm one of 3 students of Naruto Uzumaki. Hold it right there, Enma said, stopping the boys talking. Naruto, as in the former shinobi of Konohagakure Naruto? Enma asked. Yeah, that's him, the Jinchuriki of the nine-tailed fox, Kensei said. What are you thinking, boss? Ziki asked. Okay, listen up, boy, I'll let you sign our contract, but you don't use us to attack Konoha shinobi unless they attack you first, got it, Enma said. I can understand that our villages are allied now, so we shouldn't have a problem, Kensei said. Enma nodded and stood going into his house. After a few moments he came out and placed a large scroll down. Kensei watched as it opened as he saw the names on it. Hiruzen Sarutobi and Konohamaru Sarutobi were the 2 newest names on it. Following their lead, he bites his thumb and signs the contract with a big smile on his face. Welcome to the Monkey Clan, little Saru, Enma said. I look forward to working with you guys, Kensei said with a smile still on his face. Enma nodded and the boy vanished away. Zane. The smoke cleared and Zane looked around. He wasn't quite sure where he was. The place was simply an open field. He could see a small village up ahead. With a shrug, he started walking towards it. He kept on his guard just to be safe. As Zane walked, he could feel someone or something watching him. His feeling proved to be right when a large owl landed in front of him. So that's where I am, Zane said as the owl turned its head. A new summoner interesting, the owl spoke. The owl looked the boy up and down a few times before nodding. Yes, you will work, the owl added. Zane was about to ask when a large owl appeared. This one was significantly larger than the first. Within one of its talons was a scroll. Zane watched, and the scroll was unrolled. He blinked, surprised to see quite a few names on the scroll. Signed with blood, correct? Zane asked. The owls nodded and Zane signed the scroll. Now then, you can summon us when you need help, the first owl spoke, and with that Zane was gone. Masami. Masami smiled as she appeared and looked around. She appeared to be in what looked like a swamp. Looking around, she paused when she saw a large salamander approaching her. She gulped, seeing the simple size of the creature. It had to be the size of a house. So a new summoner has come, the salamander spoke, looking at the girl. Why yes, Masami said nervously. It's been a while since we've had a summoner, the salamander said as its webbed hand poked the girl as if testing her. Masami didn't back down. She was a kunoichi and she was going to show it. The salamander went to poke again, but Masami actually pushed his hand away. Okay, that's enough of that, Masami said. Sure, she was nervous, but she wasn't going to just let the overgrown lizard push her. You've got some spunk, the salamander said. Okay, time to test you, the salamander said. Masami readied herself. She figured she knew what the test would be, and she was right. The salamander attacked.